the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
Thank you. Welcome everybody to St. Louis, where it is a hot and humid day, not as bad as yesterday, and we have the Chicago Tigers, the visiting team who won the toss, who are going to be batting, and we have the St. Louis Americans, the home team, looking to get some early wickets. Anup, welcome. You've just landed. Great to see you here.
Very good morning to all our viewers. Peter, I look forward to this every year. Unfortunately, both of us were not available yesterday. I just flew in from Sao Paulo, Brazil, from my work trip just to attend this event. That's how excited I am today. Can you give us a quick rundown of the event so far this morning? You were at the pitch, you were with the captains, you were at the toss. What's the news?
The news is there's definitely a little bit of moisture on the pitch. There's some light rain last night, and of course high levels of humidity, which all the players have spoken about. I spoke to Calvin Savage, and he said it reminds him of playing in Durban or Peter Maritzburg, and even the umpires had to take a break yesterday because of it. But we've got, I think, looks like our captain is going to be opening the bowling. Is that correct? Is that? Yeah, looks like our captain opening the bowling, and he was very happy about the team's performance yesterday. Of course, they won their game, and a couple of changes we'll talk about in a second, but a good start is what he will be looking for.
That's right. Abhimanyu Lamba comes in with big billing, has represented the national level in India, done fantastically really well in first class cricket. I actually got to play a couple of warm-up games with him. He is a competitor, all right. He has a great fighting spirit, never gives up till the last delivery. A tall, lanky, fast bowler.
Yeah, they'll be eager for a really good start here. They've got the home crowd out here. Nice morning start compared to yesterday's afternoon start. And slight breeze blowing, unlike yesterday where it was exceptionally still. Sitting in the bowl, yeah, it seems like we are. And we have players just waiting for the official start of 10:30.
Overcast skies here in St. Louis today. It was a little bit of a forgiving summer this year, apart from a couple of weeks of humidity here in St. Louis. We're right bang in the center of United States, in the beautiful city of St. Louis. The city of the arch that connects the east to the west. It's called the Gateway City of United States. If you get an opportunity, please stop by. If you're around the Chicago, Nashville area, St. Louis is the city for you all to come visit. It's developed a lot over the years, and we are getting up for an exciting game here.
Yeah, I think it will be. St. Louis Americans currently with their 6 matches, having won 4 and lost 2. And Chicago Tigers only played 4. And they've just won the 1 game and lost 3. So they don't have a whole lot to lose sitting 6 on the table. And St. Louis Americans have everything to gain by this match. So it's very much a must-win for the local team as they try and pick up those points and move themselves up the table.
St. Louis Americans have been the dark horse this year. Nobody expected them to give the other people a run for their money, because even with their team selections, they didn't go with extraordinarily big names and imported current national players, but they recruited very, very smartly, Peter.
They have, and the aim of this St. Louis Americans team has been about homegrown talent, and fantastic to see the 2 Jum brothers in the team as part of that local talent. First ball coming up. It's a bit of nip and bounce there.
This pitch has been very interesting all season in local cricket, where it was built towards this particular game, and this weekend here, it's not been very conducive conditions to build the outfield, to build the pitch with. There's been a little bit of rain, there's been moisture around, but it'll be very interesting to see how we're going to play today.
G21
When Houston Hurricanes were here, Karthik Wadipalli, I think, was, if I remember correctly, spun the game towards Houston Hurricanes when the St. Louis Americans were coasting along. So nice to see a little bit of change here. They've invested a lot of time and energy on this pitch.
Yeah, and the outfield as well is well cut, and it needs to be, because with the humidity that we find at this ground, outfield can be very slow, but it looks like it's really cut nice and fine, so there could be a few runs out here today.
Nicely diving on the offside. A quick here. Interesting mini bats that I'm looking at you today is, if you observe still, Captain America the game, because in the youth level, has represented various divisions through the age groups. Just looking at his stats on Cricket Clubs, 6,272 runs. That's a lot out of 280 matches. He guides it away through to third man. They scamper across for a single. That brings Justin Dill on strike. Justin has decided to open the batting. He batted down the order and carried through St. Louis Americans last year through a very difficult patch. He was a very consistent performer. I love his attitude. Has to do something with his South African origins. Peter,
Yeah, you're so right. Last season, he was an anchor in the St. Louis American side. Now batting up the order, and let's see what damage he can do to his former club.
That's a lot of carry there. At the end of the first over, the score is 5 without loss.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Welcome back to our viewers. A beautiful morning here. A little bit of overcast skies, but the ground is filling up here. A lot of spectators. An exciting game between St. Louis Americans and Chicago Tigers in the MILC Central Zone. St. Louis Americans sit second in the standings, just behind Chicago Kingsmen, who are on an absolute roll here in the Central Zone. St. Louis Americans have surprised everybody. It's a good testament for their recruitment and their strategy that was put together a few years ago, where they tried and tested a few international players, but now, like you mentioned, have stuck to their core of investing in youth and players who they truly believe in.
And consistency of selectors and consistency of a coach, I think, is going to really help sustain this team moving forward.
Nasir Jamali, a quick mention. Nasir Jamali has been a force over the years. A nice, tall, lanky left-arm seamer. Very well built. He's taken care of himself over the years. He's been the key. I must say, the surprise element in St. Louis Americans has been how strong they've been with their bowling attack. Given away nothing and backed each other really well, as you see. Nasir Jamali, very smooth action. Runs into bowl. A beautiful drive there by Mitansh. Swept on the offside by Adnit Jam. The two Jam brothers are playing today, aren't they, Peter? Adnit Jam and Arnav Jam.
Yeah, it looks like it. Both boys in there. The U21, the older brother Arnav, and then ID U19. I think he's only 15 years old.
Incredible to imagine the exposure that he's getting, but very well deserved. Nasir Jamali runs into bowl again. Mitansh goes for a booming drive. Attention has to be paid here to Nasir Jamali's stats in the last few matches. Opening bowling was always an issue for St. Louis Americans, where they had one solid opening bowler, and then in the other end, for some reason, they were not able to find consistency. But this year, they have a very well-rounded attack. I must say, this is the attack to look forward to in the entire MILC across the country. Onus is on Mitansh right now to make something happen.
Lovely soft hands, rising delivery, outside off, and Mitansh just softens the grip on his bat and glides the ball down to third man for the single.
That brings Justin Dill on strike. Justin knows these conditions really well. He would be itching to perform today. I always have thought what would go in the mind of a batsman who swapped teams and has to come back to face his previous friends and mates.
Yeah, he's had a decent start to the season. There's 4 knocks, he's had 1 not out, 133 runs, so average of around 44. Did that stay a little bit low, Anoop?
We're just about to mention that didn't really have the carry that we saw in the first few deliveries. Is this an indication that the pitch is going to be a little up and down? That's not what Chicago Tigers would be expecting, having chosen to bat first after winning the toss. I was talking to some of the people from the St. Louis Americans camp and they wanted to bowl first, so interesting choice there. Hardy Fields on the offside again. One of the interesting aspects which we'll talk about right after this break. At the end of the second over, the score is 6 without loss.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Just a bit of a pause there as the Spectrum truck drives across, possibly in the line of sight of Mitanch. Had a few internet issues yesterday, so good to see the Spectrum chaps here today helping us out, fixing it all together. Looks like we are back and ready to go for the third over.
Abhimanyu Lamba continues to operate in that channel. Mitanch getting a little frustrated there. Really good player, Mitanch. Saw him in a couple of games online. He stands up very tall, packs a punch. One to look out for the future. Abhimanyu Lamba has led this team beautifully. Very poetic action.
It's a big effort ball, nicely covered across at point. Babacha very eager to get that ball into the keeper. It's just that, you know, it just sends a message, doesn't it, around, hey, we're not giving anything away here. Even though it doesn't look like a single, we're still going to attack the ball, get it in quickly, keeping the pressure on. It's that mental aspect of squeezing the batters, making them maybe just think twice about a quick single. So good urgency, good intensity by Butcher here at point. It's a swing all the way through the line of the ball. I don't know if it's going to make it all the way. Very much an 8 iron there. I think you would have preferred maybe a 5 iron. Ball travelled very high and kind of just died in the outfield. They come back for 2 runs. But it does show that Mitanch is going to go after anything that's between middle and leg. Roll his wrists over it and hit it away onto the onside.
Nice reference to golf there. A beautiful day to be golfing outside. Another mention to the viewers is this is a very big outfield here at the ACA Park. I've seen some of the other grounds and stadiums that are much smaller, so this is an adaptation for the batsmen as well as the bowlers to use this big outfield intelligently. He flicks it away on the leg side. Is this going all the way up? Beautiful. What a catch. Is that a catch? Did it pull back in? Beautiful effort there.
Yeah, unfortunately, looks like could be injured. I mean, he did take it with one hand, but I think he was over the ropes, wasn't he?
Look at The replay here, he jumps, he grabs it, just does not pull it back in time. He's hurt himself. What a magnificent effort there. Hopefully he's not hurt his back. That was a smart piece of bowling by Abhimanyu Lamba, and had a fielder placed there. Mitansh took the bait but cleared it by a couple of inches there. Just the quality of cricket has been so supremely increasing over the years in the MILC. How much of that is to do with the Major League Cricket, Peter?
Yeah, I think there's an intentional effort now, around the country to create pathways for young players, and for players who are coming in from other countries as well. I mean, both the minor league and the major league are seeing an influx of overseas players who are lifting the status and the standard of this game in the USA. So,
a brilliant piece of effort by Ujjwal Vinnakota, who's been very loyal to this franchisee, and this year he's taken his game to the next level. He's been scoring runs, he's been taking wickets, and did you just see that piece of brilliant attempt where he almost pulled off the catch of the season?
he's going to stay out there now, because it is obviously a favoured shot of Mitansh, and he nearly went down hook, line and sinker with that, and was lucky to get away with the 6. Again, plays it out to the offside, fielded by Bhatia comfortably, and no run off that ball.
Angad Bhatia was here last year as well with the St. Louis Americans. This year he's been very tidy with his off spinners, a very valuable batsman down the order. What has impressed me the most about St. Louis Americans is that they have a very well-rounded team here. Everybody seems to know what their roles in the team is. As Abhimanyu Lamba runs in, swept away beautifully on the offside. What a wonderful stroke. Slightly outside off stump. Rocked back onto his back foot and punched it down towards cover point for a boundary.
Yeah, beautiful cricket shot. On the up. Uses his height and really, really got stuck into that one. So that's an expensive over from the captain.
Interestingly, this is the start of the 4th over. Justin Dill is yet to get off the mark. He's been devoid of the strike, but Mitansh has got into his element in the last couple of overs. As you see, Nasir Jamali running into bowl to Justin Dill. Tries to go for a big booming off drive, misses it. This pitch is looking too paced here in the first few overs that we have seen the ball move a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to settle down. I think it will settle down just fine once the sun comes out a bit more. Still a cloud cover, which I'm grateful for, because we don't have any cover here. So I'm happy that there is cloud cover. But I wonder if Justin Dill is out there for one. Yeah, there it is again. I just wonder if he's out there for a very particular reason. That's a good effort. Justin's quick between wickets. But it looks like, Dill has really attacked almost every single shot, and perhaps he's out there to go for it. If you lose your wicket, you lose your wicket. If you come off, we're going to get a quick 20, 30, 40 runs.
Just doesn't look in his element this morning here, but we have seen in the past he is an amazing batsman. All he needs is a couple of hits. You saw Norman Anwar run across and field that and take a shy at the stumps. Norman Anwar is one of the marquee signings for St. Louis Americans, who's come really good opening batter and has been very handy with his off-spin bowling, as you see Nasir Jamali. Mitansh beautifully hit on the offside. How classic was that? That was very Rahul Dravid-esque, where waited for it, rock back, and square drove it, almost square cut it to the boundary. Mitansh getting into his element here.
Yeah, that's not Jamali's best ball. It was really dragged down, outside off. And I think you and I probably would have been able to put that away as well. But Jamali will come back for a much better ball this time around. Does not want to drag it down. That's better. Much better effort there. Ball came through quicker. Cut back into the right-hander. Comes through for a leg by.
You could hear the grunt from Nasir Jamali. Definitely an effort ball there. I have not seen any bouncers this morning, even though the pitch has offered a lot of pace. And Nasir Jamali can dish a nasty one. The field, two fielders out on the boundary, one at third man, the other one at square leg. Spins flicked away on the leg side, slightly straying down the leg, and Justin Dill made use of it and clipped it towards fine leg for a boundary. His first boundary.
Yeah, the last 2 overs have been a little bit expensive, Anup. And we're just going to need someone to stand up and kind of bring this innings back into order for St. Louis. I imagine a bowling change should be coming up pretty soon.
What must be going through the captain's mind here? This is also so interesting to think. He went for a few in the last over, but has to focus on the game, cannot focus on his personal accolades there. As you see, another wideish delivery that Justin Dill cuts away to the boundary here. Runs are leaking for St. Louis Americans, but Chicago Tigers very much needed this brisk pace as we go into the break at the end of the 4th over. It's 32 without loss. Bowling change as Peter predicted. Mohammad Ilyas comes into bowl. He's been very crucial in the middle overs here. Watch out for the pace and guile of Mohammad Ilyas. He's been the standout bowler for St. Louis Americans here. The difference today, Peter, is that they haven't had a good start with the ball, so he has to now carry forward the attack on his shoulders.
He doesn't. I don't think he'll mind it. He's the leading wicket taker, not only for his team, but in the central zone as well. Taken 12 wickets at a strike rate of 12, an average of 12.42. Economy rate's only a 6.2. So, as you said, a critical element of the St. Louis team.
Nice tidy start here by Mohammad Ilyas. All their games has been mostly on the road so far, where their first game was here yesterday. It was wonderful to watch the game here. I was in Brazil watching our first home game, and it was music to my ears and a visual spectacle to see St. Louis Americans thump Michigan Cricket Stars for the second time. Commiserations to Nikhil Kanchan, who switched over to Michigan Cricket Stars from St. Louis Americans. A nice drive, beautifully played, elegant, class, exuberance, all packaged into one shot there by Mitansh.
He just punched that. There's absolutely no follow through. Hit the sweet spot beautifully. What stunning timing that was. Left the fielders just standing in awe of a beautiful, beautiful shot. It does show some confidence in the pitch, though. that the players are playing those kinds of shots. Ball is obviously coming on quite nicely.
I was thinking that they were a little slow to start with, but it looks like they put a solid platform in place. They have to carry this forward. Mitan should not throw this away after this start as Ilyas runs in. That's the bouncer. Did you see the pace? Did you see the carry?
It's the bouncer that you're wondering about. You know, it's such... Oh, it's been called a wide.
Not a very popular decision. A lot of groans and moans on the field here, and the crowd as well. It was a very late call. I thought that was fair enough because that was really high.
Yeah, we actually have a perfect view of it. You know, it did look very high, as you said, and the main voice here is Munir Kaka, the wicketkeeper, which is to be expected, right? Of the wicketkeeper to have plenty to say. That's gone very high, and that's coming all the way to us, and that is 6 runs. So another very expensive over that is beginning to develop here.
Mitansh really turning it on here. Very confident. You see, beautifully hit on the offside. A little bit of an exercise for the umpire to stretch his arms there. Salt in the wounds of the bowler. This is where I think people get too distracted. Players get too distracted with umpiring decisions. Just focus on the next delivery. Get on with it. The umpire is never going to take his decision back. He has always worried me when players get distracted by small trivial stuff, and then the next ball they suffer even further. As you see, Mohammad Ilyas runs in, nicely tucked away on the leg side. That's running away to the boundary. Will Adi pull it in? Nicely slid by Adi Jamb. Beautiful return there. Mitansh is looking ominous at this point of time. Has outscored Justin Dill, his partner. St. Louis Americans need a breakthrough here.
Yeah, Mitansh looking really classy. Hasn't really played a missed shot other than maybe his second strike of the day, but looking solid, playing some very classical shots, also nudging a few here and there. So showing his repertoire of shots.
Mohammad Ilyas' economy rate has been 6.1. Oh, Yorker there. Nicely dug out.
Nicely bowled and nicely dug out. It was just good cricket all round.
It's just so pleasing to watch this level of cricket here. A big thanks to MILC and the Cricketing Council of United States. And a quick mention here to the ACA group, American Cricket Academy here in St. Louis. Ajay Jamb is the spearhead for this particular organization to produce amazing talent as well as facilities for people to enjoy the most amazing game that we have known in cricket. As Mohammad Ilyas, there's a little bit of aggression there. That's what this team needs. There's been a couple of drop in shoulders at the end of the over. We'll come back on the other side of the break.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
A very good morning to all our viewers who are just joining us. You're watching a thrilling game here between Chicago Tigers, who won the toss and elected to bat, battling it out with St. Louis Americans, who have their tails up with some brilliant performances here in this year's MILC. Chicago Tigers have got a brilliant start here. They're 45 without loss at the end of 5 overs, as you see Nasir Jamali continuing in attack, going to bowl to Justin Dill. Justin, very sensible. This is what I like about Justin, even when he represented St. Louis Americans, was he didn't get carried away. He backed himself, knows his talents, knows his prowess, reads the game really, really well.
Yeah, he is a real talent, and we see his performances, across the country in the various competitions, including Major League Cricket, where he plays with another former St. Louis American, in Urbis plays for Washington.
Whoa, flayed away on the offside. This is turning into an incredible innings by Mitansh. This was not that wide, but waited for it, saw the gap between point and deep covers and cut it away to the boundary. That takes Mitansh to 38 of 24 balls. He's had 2 mighty hits for 6s, and that was his 5th boundary. This kid is looking good.
Yeah, he swung hard at that, opened the face just a little bit, and as it came off the bat, he didn't even look at where the ball went. He just knew there were no fielders out there. He knew he timed it really well. He'd given it a big heave with the wrists, and the ball flew down to the boundary. Beautiful placement.
That nice shot brings up the 50 for Chicago Tigers in their 6th over. Mitansh, who struggled for timing earlier on in this innings, had a word with Justin Dill in between, and I'm sure Justin Dill said, calm your nerves down a little bit, believe in yourself, and that's exactly what Mitansh has done here. A little bit of a break in the game here while they're looking to dish the ball back.
I think they found the ball, have they? Just a bit of a break here for the batters. Not as hot as it was yesterday, but they have been out here for nearly 6 overs and running hard and just need their little bit of hydration. Change of gloves as well, the sweaty hands. Now they still haven't found that ball. So a new ball has come out here. When I say a new ball, I should say not a brand new ball. It will be in a similar condition to the one that was just lost. And they'll be able to get the game back underway. Any interesting stats that you've got there for the batters at the moment, Anup?
Yes, just looking at the bowling figures here, Abhimanyu Lamba has bowled 7 dot balls in his 2 overs. Nasir Jamali has bowled 7 dots in his 2.2. And then Mohammad Ilyas has bowled 3 dot balls. So they've played quite a few dot balls, but they've also given a lot of boundary balls away. And that's what has cost St. Louis Americans here. And there are 9 boundaries hit in the first 5.2 overs.
Great use of power play. Soft hands again. Glide it down to backward point, who is deep, and will get that ball in. Yeah, Anup, it's the dot balls are important, but the dot balls are powerful when they come one after the other, and that pressure builds, and it starts to get into the batsman's head, doesn't it? Geez, there've been 3 dots in a row, 4 dots in a row, and suddenly you feel that you've got to force the shots. But a dot here and there, interspersed with loose deliveries, isn't building any pressure.
You're just seeing a practical adaptation of what our Peter Dry explained here. It's in the air. He loses his cool a little bit. He's going to be gone here. Justin Dale did not have to do that. Nasir Jamali strikes. Amit Jam takes the catch. Chicago Tigers lose their first wicket. It's 51 for the loss of 1 at the end of 5.4 overs.
Run. Go find the ball.
Did not require this at all.
Take us through the replay there. From my perspective, it seemed like it hit the toe of the bat.
Looks like it stood up a little bit on the wicket, and it a premeditated shot by Justin Dale. Looks to go down the ground. The shot that he played so well over the years here, but took the bottom edge there, looped it in for an easy catch by Adnat Jam, who judged it well and made sure to send his previous captain back to the pavilion. Chicago Tigers should not lose sight of the bigger picture here. They've got a good start here, but this is what St. Louis Americans did really well over the course of the last few games, is once they get their eye in and they sniff a couple of chances, watch this, Peter, you might see a couple of wickets be toppled here.
Well, this is what you're going to need as a fielding team now, is that double hit. Don't let the new batsman get his eye in. Don't let the new batsman start to feel comfortable at the wicket. Big pressure, get that early wicket. And also for Mitunch, he's just lost his opening partner. They scored 51 runs together. There's no doubt that is disruptive as well. So the best time to get another wicket is just after you've got that initial wicket. So St. Louis Americans, they've immediately put it looks like a slip in place for the left-hander.
This is where Abhinyu Lamba has been so excellent with his captaincy, putting the pressure back in. Shiv Sani, another youngster. It's really nice to see Chicago Tigers invest in young talent here. Nasir Jamali dishes his first delivery, flicks it away on the leg side. That's going to go to the boundary. Nicely cut off by Ujjwal Vinakota. Keeps the batsman down to a single. Brilliant cricket all around here.
And that's not quite the delivery that you want as a bowler to be giving.
On a beautiful day here in St. Louis, this is myself, Anup Mohan, with my amazing co-commentator, Peter Dry. Peter, how has the last year turned out for you?
Yeah, we only see each other once a year. It's been a very good year, enjoying my consultancy practice and the opportunities it gives me to meet some amazing people and make a positive impact in workplaces, in leaders, and with the community as well, and enjoying as well watching my kids grow up and travel around the world, playing their sport, following their passions. So yeah, life is good. Just enjoyed my 29th wedding anniversary to my beautiful wife, Samantha.
Big congratulations to Samantha and you. 29 is a big milestone.
It is indeed. And let's hope we can get a milestone here. Rocks back, plays it, rolls his wrists over the ball, just hits it gently into the space. Clever batting. Doesn't try to overhit it with Tunch. Then jogs through for a single.
Very nice to hear. The last year has turned out well for you, Peter. I've had a couple of shift in my roles and responsibilities at work, and I'm enjoying myself working at Bayer. I work for Bayer Crop Science, and we are trying to feed the world to solve world hunger. Ah, that's extra pace and bounce there from Zaid Zakil,
Yeah, that
who's
just bounced, didn't it?
who's coming to the attack at the far end, as Peter has named it, the car park end. Shiv Sani rocks back onto the back foot, adjusts himself really nicely, plays it towards square leg. Said Zakil has been an exciting prospect. This is one guy I'm looking forward to seeing with the bat as well. Peter, he bats like a left-handed Shahid Afridi. He doesn't have a defense in him. It is entertaining, all right. That's for later as we see him bowl his left arm orthodox. Nicely connected by the wicketkeeper. A big booming sweep attempted by Mitansh. He's playing so well in front of the wicket. This is where he does not have to get very creative. Nicely played away on the offside. Angad sweeps it up. Tidy over so far from
That's exactly what we need.
Zaid Zakil.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need. For St. Louis Americans, just one or two tight overs just to put a little question mark into the heads of the batters. Are we doing enough? Are we keeping up with the run rate? Looking for the second. They should get there. They do. Little misfield out there. Can they come back for the third? I doubt it. Little overthrow. Oh, nope, never run on a misfield.
The old
Teach that
adage
to me.
always stands. How many times have we seen a misfield leading to a wicket? That's the end of the 7th over.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
All this game. I remember in my first year commentating, I was all nerves even though it doesn't show in the voice. It has been a great experience to co-call these games with Peter Dry, who's such an experienced person who can explain the emotions in a very poetic way. I've learnt a ton from my co-commentator Peter Dry.
Yeah, it's always been good fun, and certainly wonderful to see this club grow, this community grow, and the team grow. Gently played down into the ground. No run. A dot ball. Can this we need 3 or 4 dots in a row. Already put the pressure back on the visiting Chicago Tigers team. There are a lot of players on the boundary now. We've got a deep square leg. We've got a sweeper out here, deep mid on. We've got a long on as well on the leg side, and then a sweeper out in the kind of deep cover position.
It's an effort ball from Nasir Jamali. He has been the spearhead for the attack in the middle overs and has held one end up really well when Mohammad Ilyas has gone in for the wickets. I like the look of the St. Louis Americans attack. They have great variety. In the past, they've been a little one-dimensional, going in with some part-timers, but now they have specialists to do the business.
And always good to have a lefty, you know, of some sort. Just changes things up a little bit.
That stroke take Mitansh to 43. He's looked really good here. Chicago Tigers must kick on. They have 9 wickets in hand. This is where Justin would have made such a big difference. Let's not forget, in the hut, waiting like a prowling tiger is Calvin Savage, their big hitting captain, who is perhaps one of the best players in the central zone. They'll be a little disappointed with the outcome of the last few games. They were expected to be competing for top honors. As you see, Nasir Jamali, nice rhythm approach. As Shivsani tries to hoik it down the leg side, gets in on his knees.
I can see what he's trying to do there is there's not a fine leg deep on the boundary. The fine leg is up in the ring. And so hoping just to kind of help the ball on its way over the top of the short fine leg, which the ball will probably run down the hill for 4. So good thinking from the youngster.
This presentation is brought to you by... Oh, that's a bouncer, attempt of a bouncer. Tries to pull it, wasn't in control, takes the top edge, but still runs down to the fine leg boundary. A welcome boundary to Shiv Sani. Looks like Mohammad Ilyas apologize. Looks like Nasir Jamali lost his footing a little bit there. I was wondering when the bouncer is going to be coming in. And Shiv Sani looked comfortable playing that. He looks like a back foot player who likes to play square of the wicket.
Change of fielding position there. There isn't someone down there on the boundary, third man boundary. That's hit straight up in the air. That could very well be a catch. Positioning himself well. It's a beautiful catch. Oh, fantastic catch. Fantastic catch.
What a wonderful catch by Adnajam. You see, he hits it down the ground. Very well judged. Adnajam runs in. Beautifully taken. This boy has been working on his fielding, and that's the outcome there. Adnajam pulls off a blinder for St. Louis Americans to dismiss Shiv Sani, who runs back to the pavilion. Another breakthrough for St. Louis Americans. This is where fielding plays such a crucial role. And Adnajam showing the way for St. Louis Americans on how it needs to be done.
I had the pleasure of coaching Adi for several years as a youngster, and he hated fielding. He hated fielding. All he wanted to do was bat, and he could bat, and he has a tremendous appetite for scoring big runs. Even as a youngster, he was scoring centuries, but he hated fielding. He had no interest in fielding. He also had very little interest in running. Very, very little interest in running quick singles as well. And to see his efforts on the field, 2 fantastic catches, saved a couple of boundaries as well. What wonderful growth and development that we're seeing in this young man. I really think he's going to be a star for the future.
That's a great testament to the ACA Academy. This is where Coach Sunil Viswanathan has worked with these people, excited them into all aspects of the game, batting, bowling, and fielding as well. Coach Sunil Viswanathan, if you're watching, your efforts are paying off with that brilliant catch by Adnajam. Thank you for that little snippet, Peter, of how every aspect of the game is so important and crucial here. Catches win matches. And here's another example. American Cricket Academy has invested a lot in the infrastructure and the youth here. Again, it's a 200-member organization that's completely run by volunteers. Coach CD has come in and transformed this team completely along with the other coaches. As you see, Zaid Zakil running into ball. Oh, that's up in the air. He's going to be... Oh, drop shot. Got me excited there for a second.
Yeah, that's two fairly quick wickets, which brings St. Louis Americans back into the game, and they really need those 2 wickets. The big wicket they're going to need right now is, of course, the opening batsman, Mitanshu, has gone very quiet. He's been in the 40s for quite some time now, and we know that can put some pressure on a batter. When you haven't seen the ball, you kind of drift out of the game a little bit, and you can be a little bit sloppy getting back into it. So hopefully, for his sakes, the concentration is still there. Leans forward, does Azim, and comes through for a single.
Azim Gumam is the new batsman. Looks compact. Loss of the last 2 wickets has put a little bit of pressure on Mitansh, who slowed down a little bit. This is where he needs to continue and play a big innings. He's doing well here. A quick scamper through for a single. That's all they need right now. They need to rotate the strike feel like the onus is still with them, because St. Louis Americans love this. This is where they tighten things up, put the pressure back on you, ask you to play a big stroke. Nice run again. There's a chance there at the non-striker's end. Abhimanyu Lamba, very quick. Nice cricket all around.
Yeah, very good cricket, and particularly by the batting team, the Chicago Tigers, who've taken 3 quick singles in exactly the same area. So St. Louis Americans need to make a decision here. Are they going to get a bit closer, stop the single, or allow the singles to creep in and just be more afraid of the boundaries?
Tries to play it down the leg side, a leading edge, return back to the bowler. Nicely tidy up. Did you see that he changed his line there and went a little straighter because they were tapping him on the offside for singles?
It's dangerous to go straighter here with Mitanch. He does play it beautifully off. There we go. Yeah, as I said, he does play it very well off the leg. Didn't quite time that one. They go through for another single. So no boundaries this over. And that's something that I'm impressed with Chicago Tigers. Even though there hasn't been a boundary this over, they've got their singles. And so they're keeping the scoreboard moving.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Is that Chicago Tigers, after winning the toss and electing to bat first, are 68 for the loss of 2 wickets after 9 overs. Mitanch has stroked himself to a very well made 46 of 36 deliveries. Justin Dill 10 of 9 before he got out to a catch by Adnit Jam of Nasir Jamali. Shiv Sani was brilliantly taken in the deep by Adnit Jam, again of Nasir Jamali, to return back for 8 of 7 deliveries. And now we have in the center Azim Gumam, who has been rotating strike really well. And into the attack is what I think has been the surprise package of this year for St. Louis Americans, Ujjwal Winakota, who's had runs, wickets, and great with in the field as well. Nice steady start by him. He's worked a lot on his fitness in the last year. As I see, he's shed a couple of pounds there. Looks well built, looks athletic. So much of it has to do with the physical and mental aspect of one's character, Peter.
Yeah, mostly mental. The skill set between very good players and outstanding players is so small, but it's the outstanding players are able to perform consistently under pressure. That's the difference, that they can perform consistently under pressure. And everyone can get fit, everyone can build a skill set, but can you have that mental aspect of high performance under pressure? Again, soft hands, this could be a problem. It is. Oh, brilliantly run out. Absolutely brilliantly run out. There was never a run there. Superb work by the keeper, Munir Kakar, who sprints in one-handed. He's close to the wicket, but he only has one stump to see, Anup, and he nails it.
Brilliant wicket keeping there. He scampered across, preempted that actually. If you see, in the last few deliveries, the batsman was pushing on the offside and trying to take quick singles. This is where the presence of mind has been brilliant, and Mumin Kakar pulls off an amazing run out. Nice direct hit there. St. Louis Americans again showing their prowess in the field. A little bit of a brain fade by the batsman there, but again, credit to the wicketkeeper.
Yeah, I think you spotted that really well, Anup. Kakar almost preempted it. They knew that the batters were playing with soft hands. They're struggling to get the ball off the square. Haven't hit a boundary for quite some time now, and the keeper was alert to the possibility of the drop and run and responded brilliantly. Very athletic, very quick. But most of all, what I love about that is just the mental alertness, like that game awareness of this is what the players are doing, and I'm going to be preempting their quick single, and who would have thought that there'd be a run out from the keeper?
Just brilliant there. For youngsters watching the game, this is a great learning experience as well, as you see Ujjwal running in. Jay Desai is the new batsman, calls for 2, but I don't think they are going to go back. Very smart call. St. Louis Americans have a spring in their step right now. That's what 2 brilliant pieces of fielding does to you. It picks up the level of the game entirely to another level, where everybody has a spring in the step. Everybody wants in on the game. Everybody wants to be a hero. That's not a bad thing, is it, Peter?
No, I think you're exactly right. And that's what really good players do. They have that awareness of the team needs the energy spark now, and they take it upon themselves to be that spark.
Something interesting that I've noticed is Mohammad Ilyas is here on the boundary, and he is running in like he's actually walking in from the 30-yard circle. So alert, on the prowl like a cheetah. This is exciting to watch. All around is the alertness and the game sense that St. Louis Americans have.
That's gone. That's gone. That's allowed, Nick, and he walks. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Exactly that. He'd been out of the game. Henry, he'd been out of the game. And now suddenly, sitting in the 40s, suddenly comes the opportunity to get back on strike, and foot doesn't get across the ball. There's a bit of a loose swing, and Mitanch, who's batted so well, but had been off strike for too long. He'd watched 3 wickets tumble from the other side. He's thinking to himself, I've got to get things moving. He plays a loose shot, and a man who deserved a 50, I think, has gone for 47.
A big disappointing end to a very sweet innings by Mitanch Nityanandam. He walks back very digitally for 47. A well-made 47 of 39 balls, 5 hits to the fence, and 2 very well-timed 6s at a time when the team really needed a good partnership in the middle. Chicago Tigers are losing their head. Talking about important heads, Calvin Savage, who I consider is the best player in all of the central zone, comes into bat. It's put the cat amongst the pigeons here a little bit, Peter.
Yeah, totally. It looked like the game was getting away from St. Louis Americans. You know, strike run rate was 9, 10 and over, and they stuck to their plans. They took a few really good catches, and suddenly it's 70 for 4 off 9 overs.
There were 51 for the loss of no wickets, and now suddenly they are 71 for the loss of 4, just in the matter of 2.5 overs. The game of T20 changes so quickly. We always talk about episodes where you need these quick partnerships because the game changes so quickly. Welcome back to all our viewers. You're watching the 2024 edition of the MILC here at the ACA Park, a beautiful ground. You're watching St. Louis Americans take on the Chicago Tigers. Chicago Tigers, after getting off to a brisk start, have lost their way a little bit. At the end of 10 overs, they're 71 for the loss of 4 wickets. As you see, the left-armer Zaid Zakil running into bowl to Calvin Savage, the captain.
Could be an option. Oh, that could be very close. Just Chicago Tigers just wanting to give this away a little bit here. After dominating the first 7 or 8 overs. And the captain here asking for the television umpire to come into play. Of course, we don't have that here, but that's 2 runouts that the St. Louis Americans have quite liked the look of, but they haven't got the decision that they've wanted. So, time for Chicago Tigers just to bring it together, regain the composure. They're going to need a little bit of a partnership here. Oh, that's a big, thick edge. That could be an out. Other side of the field. Oh, ball jumps up, hits the bowler on the chest. Joshua Kind in fielding for Jamali, who I think went off injured after his last over.
Another
Joshua.
youth product here. Joshua Kind. Very nice all-rounder. Very good in the field as well. There you see another quick single. The wicketkeeper is very alert there. But the experienced head of Calvin Salvage judges that really well. It's quietened up a little bit here for Chicago Tigers. This is where they need to stitch together a partnership, not think about the 20 overs, think about the next delivery, think about the next over. Again, goes for a big hoik there. Jay Desai, who's very well renowned in the Chicago circles, over a period of time has consistently delivered in local cricket there, gets his opportunity. Zaid Zakil. Straight drive down the ground. It will be tidied it up. Just a single.
Yeah, you saw in the previous delivery, Savage just saying to his teammate, look, just settle down. We've still got 10 overs to play. And if we can chip away at a few singles and then get a boundary here and there, we can get up to that 150 mark, which is the mark that he felt would be a good enough target to defend. But Savage is going to have to play an innings here, that is for sure.
150 is still on, especially with some hits like that. Rock back onto the back foot and a slight punch there, and it crosses the boundary. At the end of the 11th over, it is 79 for the loss of 4 wickets.
A good catch and a good run out that turned the game nicely.
A tense contest brewing here at the ACA Park. Calvin Savage now has to deliver for the Chicago Tigers. He's had a quiet season so far compared to his very high standards. Ujjwal Winakota, who's been St. Louis Americans player of the tournament so far. Zaid Zakil, who just completed his 3 overs, has been very tidy for 18 runs, as you see. Ujjwal Winakota, very tight with his line and length. Smooth action, medium pace, does not look to be fancy at all, but is very effective. Almost bowls within himself. Again, if you see, very intelligently bowled there. Change in pace, giving nothing away to the batsman. St. Louis Americans fielding has been a pleasure to watch this morning.
Yeah, it has been good. They haven't made too many mistakes in the field at all. They're probably a little part where they let a few quick singles go through, but that was quickly followed up the next over by a run out. So maybe that was the plan all along. It steps up into the air. It's going to be a tough catch. It's a great catch. That is a remarkable catch. When you're running backwards like that, having to turn your head and making really good ground and brilliant fielding again. And this is what's turning the game. We're literally just off air talking about the fact that 2 great pieces of fielding have turned the game. Here's a third, Anup.
Munir Kakar. Again, the shot was not on. It was a quick delivery. Ujjwal Winakota bending his back, trying to pull that away. Jay Desai was nowhere in control, went high up in the air, and very nicely judged by Munir Kakar, the standards have been set really high, and St. Louis Americans are delivering upon promise here. Chicago Tigers, what's going on?
Yeah, and Savage had just said a couple of balls before, hadn't he? Settle down. We've got 10 overs. It's another 80 runs sitting right there for us, but we need to build a partnership, and then a shot like that gets played.
That is also Ujjwal Venakota's 14th wicket of this tournament.
Outstanding, isn't it?
He and Mohammad Ilyas have been brilliant for St. Louis Americans. Mohammad Ilyas went for a few in his first over here, but then Venakota pulling things behind. I'm looking forward to Mohammad Ilyas coming in and cleaning up the tail here soon. Are St. Louis Americans going to go in for the kill here?
I'm not sure they have to. I think Chicago Tigers are hitting the self-destruct button. I think I'm sensing a bit of panic amongst Chicago right now. I'm not sure why, because there's still so many overs to go, and they've got a decent run rate. It's dropped down to 7, but they're very much in the game. There's no need to hit the panic button.
Ujjwal is right on the money again. He's been so impressive. 1.4 overs, 2 for 3. This is a guy who nobody wanted to pick in the first season of MILC. Worked on his game. He does represent Austin Aces in the Austin Premier League as well. Has worked on himself. Has been a loyal servant to St. Louis Americans, who has been given this opportunity to spearhead this attack.
He's bowling a very good length. It's a very tricky length to get away. And using his whippiness, if that's a word, is getting the ball just to rise a little bit of chest length and not giving the batter too much space outside off. There it is again, just short of the length. Savage having to work hard to get back there.
79 for the loss of 5 wickets after 12.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Another mention of Ujjwal Venakota. He's delivered for the St. Louis Americans when needed. He's played cricket all around in Texas and has been fantastic. Originally played in Dallas, but also has played in Houston and now also plays in Austin, Texas. Plies a straight for Austin Aces with my friend Arun. If you're watching, hi Arun. Arun Reddy, very passionate for his cricket. As you see, Norman Anwar is coming into the attack.
And the field is, we've got a field really set for the straighter shot. We've got a long on and a long off. It comes into bowl. It's a reverse sweep. Kine gets his body in the way. That's well played.
Again, a great effort by Joshua Kine there,
Yeah,
putting his body behind the ball. Over the years, St. Louis Americans have lacked in the field a little bit to concentrate for those 20 overs. As you see, they've done a lot of work pre-season to prepare themselves both physically, mentally, emotionally, to be ever present for those 120 deliveries. Another South African, Joshua Kine, Peter?
He is indeed. He's probably spent more of his life in America, though, I think, by this stage. I would say my kids are the same. I think they've spent more of their time in America now than they have in any other country that we've lived in. floats it up. Not quite timed. They may be able to come back for 2. Charges on here. That's very well fielded. Oh, it's a misfield. Could be in trouble, though. Oh, it's the first mistake that Adi has made in the field after picking up 2 fantastic catches. Just releases the pressure ever so slightly as they come back for 2.
It's been brilliant in the field, Adi Jamb. Yesterday, Arnav was brilliant, scoring 43 to lead his team to victory. Adi and Adnat Jamb, the Jamb brothers, have been performing very consistently in local cricket. I got to play a couple of games with them this season. They have matured into very fine individuals. Proud parents, Ajay Jamb and Priyanka. If you're watching, you have to pat yourself on the back for how well your boys are doing. As Norman Anwar runs into ball. Oh, that's a bad bounce there. Hopefully,
just nicked his ear there. That's very fortunate because it could have been quite a nasty injury there.
No damage done. That's the end of the 13th over. Great facilities here at the ACA Park. There's a pavilion built in the last year. They've invested a lot of time to redo the nets. They laid out the outfield. The pitch is work in progress, and it always is. You can never get a perfect surface, and that's the beauty of the game as well, is that you always try to be a mind reader and read the pitch, but then you actually don't know how it's going to play out until the first delivery is bowled and how it's going to evolve over time. It comes into the attack is Mohammad Ilyas now. He's been the pick of the bowlers for St. Louis Americans and has been the top competitor for the MLC in the Central League.
Just bringing Joshua Kind into the circle here. St. Louis Americans aware that there's a bit of a drop and run strategy at the moment from the Tigers. Oh, that's well fielded.
Adnat
Jamb. Interesting, the last piece there. I don't know what you think about this, but Adi, who's played so well, is a youngster. He's probably only 15 years old. Has a little misfield as he attacks the ball there. It's going to happen on this surface. I thought that the more experienced players on the field at that stage could have run over, given him a tap. Never mind, buddy. There were a few like waving of arms. What are you doing, mate? Kind of stuff. Maybe I'm misreading it here, but I thought a bit more could have been done to just boost his confidence again.
Another great piece of observation by Peter Dry. I think it is a testament for the high standards that they're setting in the team here, Peter. Whether you're 15 or 50, you're held to the same standards. But I can totally see what you're saying right now, is that a pat on the back to make sure that to bring and boost his confidence up will go a long way, because again, there is still cricket to be played in this game. 7 more overs. Mohammad Ilyas, very smooth action. Whoa, that's a mighty hit on the leg side. That's going to run away to the boundary. 1 bounce. Very well timed by Prithvish Patel.
Not a great delivery, was it? Just kind of lent inside the line, helped it on its way for a 1 bounce boundary. And this is where St. Louis Americans, while their fielding and their catching has been so good, they offer these pressure release deliveries.
This is what is going to cost them in big games. Obviously in this one, they're on top here and they can afford a couple of mishaps. But against good teams, you don't get those freebies. Or you can let the guard down and put the team at risk by providing the opposition a foot into the door. He had stopped and held back on him. Prithvish Patel reaching out.
He does reach out a lot, doesn't he? I mean, from the angle that we're at, you can see that his bat is seems a long way in front of his pad. So There's a real opportunity here for a caught behind. If the ball's able just to move away slightly, he could be in a little bit of trouble there.
Prithvish Patel looks to play himself in. Oh,
Yeah,
that is
given.
gone. It looked straight.
It
It
looked
looked
good.
plumb. It looked out and given by umpire Srinivas. Prithvish is not happy, but it looked out. Oh, that looked dead straight. This is where Mohammad Ilyas has been so dangerous with his pace. You can't just take your eye off the ball. Got a little carried away from the previous shot that he played to the boundary and tried another attempt there. Was not required. This is where Kevin Savage is running out of partners here. He needs to align some love with his partners for a little bit here, because they're all divorcing him at this point of time and running away to find something better to do.
They are indeed, and you know, from the very good platform that the openers created for 51 run partnership, solid foundation. There hasn't been a partnership since. And whether it's T20 or whether it's 5-day test matches, Anup, relationships matter. As you say, partnerships really do matter. That's what you're building good scores off of. And we haven't found one since the opening 5 overs.
In the last 49 deliveries, Chicago Tigers have scored 38 runs and lost 6 wickets. This is the nature of T20. It changes so quickly. All's not lost because we have Kevin Savage. All he needs is a couple of mighty hits. At this point of time, he needs his partners to stick together and stitch a partnership. Just survive. Just survive. Rahul Basu comes to the strike. His instructions are clear. Stick around.
Yeah, let's form a partnership here. Let's bat through the 7 overs. That's neat timing, isn't it? It's a lovely first shot. Well fielded again. Adi Jam really has been outstanding in the field. One little slip up, but besides that, he's been a key player. 89 for 6 as we go into the 14th over.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
90 for 6 after 14 overs. Tigers in all sorts of trouble.
Oh, looks to play it and run for a quick single. Gets an inside edge. A lot of the work and success that St. Louis Americans are seeing this year is due to the lot of energy that's been put in by its main people. Zygmunt Patel has been in the crux of it, works tirelessly to put together the team along with Ajay Jam, Ganesh Krishnamurthy and Harish Punapareddy. Many thanks to them for providing this entertainment. As you see, that's a little uppish in the air. They look for a second. Kevin Savage is too fast. He will make it back very comfortably. Again, the ACA team, run with 200 volunteers, have been tirelessly working in the last few weeks to make this happen. And what a spectacle here it is on a Saturday in St. Louis at the ACA Park in Wentzville.
Little chop down, should come through for a sing. It's going to be close though.
Yeah, it was a risky single, especially Calvin running to the danger end. Could the wicketkeeper have done a little better there, getting behind the stumps? I don't think anybody expected them to take a single there. Ujjwal Winakota is a good fielder.
Yeah, that was a good single. It's a tricky one, a dicey one, but a good single. They need to keep chipping away. I'm not sure that they're going to get to their 150, but as you said earlier, Anup, this T20 can change very quickly. 2 or 3 big overs, and suddenly they're in the runs.
I am still counting on 150 here. You can't discount anything until Calvin Savage is at the crease. I have seen him hit some lusty blows. Norman Anwar is a very seasoned cricketer. He uses his brain, looks dibbly-dobbly, but he is very tight. Again, very tightly bowled. I think the strategy right now from Chicago Tigers is play yourself in for the next couple of overs. Give as much strike as possible to Calvin Savage and look to counter in the last 4 overs. He's gone
out.
there.
It looks like that's out.
Oh, that
It hit
looked
something.
like there was a nick there. It was a loud noise.
It hit something. Conversations with the umpires not going to help. 94 for 6 after 15 overs. Hey Josh, good to see you back on the field. Rushing home to watch the Box play rugby after this.
St. Louis Americans with their tails up right now. They have Chicago Tigers on the mat as we watch Joshua Kind, one of our St. Louis bred youngster. Mohammad Ilyas runs into ball. Interesting strategy there to take a single of the first ball and trust the non-striker with the rest of the over from Calvin Savage. Rahul Basu, he's look compact, look good. He needs to turn the strike back to Calvin Savage, who's been quiet. He's 11 of 9 deliveries. He can turn on the screws at any moment he needs and wants. Mohammad Ilyas, great pace there.
It's tucked him up, hasn't it? Yeah, that extra bit of pace that you picked up there, Anup. And he has the ability to do that. Bowls of pace, bowls of pace, bowls of pace. Then suddenly comes in with a ball that looks like 5, 6, 7 Ks quicker, and really rushed the batter into a shot there. No bat on there. Hits the pads, runs away for one leg by. Let's see what Savage is going to do here. Is he going to look to have a couple of big overs at the end, or is he going to nominate one of these earlier ones?
I think he's going to play him out. He knows Mohammad Ilyas is their top strike bowler. He's going to get his opportunities. Very sensible there by Calvin Savage. Mohammad Ilyas is not tear away. He does not bolt into the crease. Very rhythmic approach to the crease, but is well built. As I see a couple of drops of rain come through. Hopefully it's just something in passing.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Anup. This Ilyas is too good a bowler to target, but they're going to have to pick at least 2 of the next 3 or 4 overs to target.
There you see extra pace there. He was trying to play it on the leg side, but hurried on to him. What a difference those extra 3, 4, 5 Ks does. He doesn't look enticingly deceptive there, but you can see the difference where he tried to play the pull shot but hurried onto him.
We haven't seen much use of slow ball today, Anup. We've seen a little bit of the use of the bouncer, but not much else, not much variation. That's a beautiful delivery in at that, blasting his feet, and very well played by the striking batsman. Wow, that ball shot through.
Yeah, that's been the go-to for Mohammad Ilyas in the death overs. In general, having followed the last few games, St. Louis American bowlers have shied away from going to the slower delivery. I think they're backing themselves with the pace. The other pitchers have offered a lot of carry. There's another bouncer. This is going to be a wide. Again.
No one's complaining about that one. That was incredibly high over the batter. But that's, again, what you're talking about earlier, is that use of the bouncer, because a bouncer's tip can, especially a slow bouncer, is often a dot ball. There's not much you can do with it with a decent bouncer. And we haven't seen that being used a lot. And there it was. But that's a second bouncer that we've seen being a wide. So maybe this pitch just isn't built today for that bouncer. Nope.
That was almost a statement delivery from Nasir. Again, fast delivery. Nowhere near it. End of the 16th over.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Chicago Tigers losing their plot a little bit in this attempt to set a big target. They had a fine start with Mitansh scoring 47, but after the first wicket that fell at 51 in the 6th over, they've completely lost their head and currently sit at 98 for the loss of 6 wickets. Their saving light is Calvin Salvage, their captain. He has to go in this over.
You think
Peter,
this is it?
This is it. Again, it's going to be interesting because
If we're going to play our game again, 4 overs to go.
Zaid Zakil has been very tight here. He plays it away on the leg side. Nicely fielded there in the deep and returned. Still not taking that risk.
Anup, what is going to be the final score? This is when we've got to put our money on the table here. I've got something in my head.
Get your calculator out right
What is your
now.
final score, please, at the end of the 20 overs for Chicago Tigers?
145. Again, I'm banking on my understanding of Calvin Salvage. Going to hit a few lusty blows here. It's somewhere between 120 and 145.
No, you
depending
can't.
on
I need a number. I need a number. I need a number. Let's hear it.
130.
You just said 145. He's gone. He's gone. Your banker's gone. You should have stuck with the 130. You should have stuck with the 130. Oh, my gosh. I was going 132. That's my number. Now I'm wishing I went lower. That's a phenomenal catch there. Again, St. Louis Americans keeping themselves in the game by brilliant fielding. What a catch behind Anup.
Fabulous. Again, Zaid Zakil has been brilliant today. A fine exhibition of left-arm spin bowling. Calvin Salvage, a nothing shot again. I didn't know he was going for a hoik or was he trying to play it down on the leg side, but got an under edge and a beautiful catch there by Kakar. Munir Kakar, again, has been brilliant behind the stumps. Calvin Salvage is so disappointed to return back in the hut. This is a big blow. Chicago Tigers are going to do well to get to 120 and 125 now. It makes me look a little silly with predicting 145, but that was contingent on Calvin Salvage being around. Peter, as always, you know better.
No, I don't.
I have to rest
I'm
my
wondering
case.
if my 132 is too much as well. But Kaká has been outstanding. That's his 3rd catch. And he's also had a run out. So brilliant effort by the keeper, making sure his team stays in the game. But yeah, an interesting wicket there. Bottom edge through to the keeper who's standing up. So high quality keeping again by Kaká. He really has been outstanding in the field. Chicago Tigers in all sorts of trouble here. Not too many overs to go. Low runs on the board.
Mohit Patel is the new batsman. Oh, did that take a nick? Again, Zaid Zakil is very animated there. You just come to the crease, you've lost your captain, you're 7 down. Why would you go for a booming off drive? Zaid Zakil again entices the batsman. This time pushes it on the offside. He's been brilliant here, Zaid Zakil. He came in at a tough time when there were 51 for no loss and has bowled beautifully. This is his final delivery. Has gone only for 20 runs and got the important wicket. His ego! What a catch there! Beautifully taken! Zaid Zakil finishes off his spell with a wicket there. A brilliant leap on the offside by Norman Anwar. Plucks it out of thin air. That was like a cat on a hot tin roof. Beautiful, beautiful catch.
Again, it's the fielding that's keeping this team in the game. That's a brilliant catch. Just, he could not have stretched any higher than that. And 2 quick wickets in that over is really sealing the fate of Chicago Tigers. Now 100 for 8. Are they going to even see through the 20 overs? Surely that's something that they have to do, is at least bat through. It's a cardinal sin to be all out before batting your maximum of overs.
Again, a lot of questions are going to be asked about the strategy here. In my opinion, Calvin Savage should have batted up the order. This is where all the good players, according to me, have to face the maximum number of deliveries. I know they had a plan. Calvin Savage works as a finisher, but this batting lineup has looked very flaky and again lose their way today. All credit to the St. Louis Americans bowlers. I was looking for a tough fight here, but it's turning into a very disappointing batting performance by Chicago Tigers. St. Louis Americans have been brilliant. Abhimanyu Lamba brings himself back into the attack. Now they are going to go in for the kill. The Chicago Tigers being hunted down.
Yeah, still a defensive field being set here. Joshua Kind out here deep mid-on. We have a long on. We have a mid-off in the circle. We have a sweeper out at deep cover on the boundary. Got someone in the ring in the covers. That's well played. There's just no one to back up, and so the ball is held by Anwar. And deep square leg, and then we have Jam, who's down there on the boundary at third man.
I'm not sure the field is even in the picture at this point of time. The Chicago Tigers are not playing this well. So I can see how Abhimanyu Lamba has kept us. Again, he goes down. This is a good hit here. He's going to be taken. Mohammad Ilyas takes a nice running catch. What is happening here with Chicago Tigers? They lose their 9th wicket. St. Louis Americans have bowled themselves all over the Chicago Tigers. This is a great bowling performance by Chicago. By St. Louis Americans. Not a good batting display by Chicago Tigers.
Yeah, that's really well fielded. Made a good effort to cover the ground. Joshua Khan was there as well, just in case. But Ilyas, very, very sweetly taken. No issues at all. Picking it up on the run. And another wicket goes down. I think the difference here really has been the fielding. All the catches have been taken. And that is the key to keeping the pressure up and making sure that the runs are low on the board right now, as they are.
Coach CD has emphasized a lot on fielding for the St. Louis Americans. Coach CD had his birthday last week. I asked him how old he turned.
Did he tell you?
He told me he feels very young. Very charismatic character.
He really is. Brings his guitar. He's got a beautiful voice. Sings a huge range of songs, and he's a good man to have around. Positive, energetic, always ready with a smile, and what a great cricketing brain.
One of the most articulate coaches I have seen, Coach Charles David Thompson, goes by Coach CD. He's been around with this franchisee for a long time. Kudos, and I'm pretty sure he's sitting in the dugout feeling very proud of his boys. Again, a nothing shot there. Coach CD has been a great backbone to build around this particular team. When I asked him what the strategy would be this year, he said, let's invest in youth and back our basics and bring in people who are going to stay committed and take ownership and responsibility for this franchise, and that's exactly what is happening here. It's up in the air. He'll be gone. Again, Abhimanyu Lamba wraps up this innings here. A disappointing end to the innings. Chicago Tigers bowled out for 100 in the 18th over. A nothing innings almost after a very promising start here. It's been a very professional performance by St. Louis Americans in the field with the ball. A fantastic display of how they can get their hands around the necks of the Tigers and squeeze them down and tame the Tigers down to 100. It is going to be an interesting run chase where these targets are always very hard, where you don't know whether you want to go attacking in the beginning or to pace it out. But St. Louis Americans have their heads held high at this point of time, and Chicago Tigers require an extraordinary performance to get back into this game.
Yeah, we'll take you through the stats. Anup will talk us through those and some key performances from the field. But what does stand out is Adi Jam's 2 catches, one in particular that turned the game.
And we'll see the side to give you. He flicks it away on the leg side. Is this going all the way up? Beautiful. What a catch! Is that a catch? Did it pull back? As Abhimanyu Lamba runs in, swept away beautifully on the offside. What a wonderful stroke. Slightly outside. Mitansh beautifully hit on the offside. How classic was that? That was very Rahul Dravid-esque. Where waited for it. Spain's flicked away on the leg side, slightly straying down the leg, and Justin Dill made use of it and cannot focus on his personal accolades there. As you see, another wideish delivery that Justin Dill cuts away to the boundary here. Michigan cricket stars from St. Louis Americans. A nice drive, beautifully played.
Elegant. Right, the wicketkeeper to have plenty to say. That's gone very high, and that's coming all the way to us, and that is 6 runs.
Whoa, played away on the offside. This is turning into an incredible innings by our Peter Dry explained here. That's in the air. He loses his cool a little bit. He's going to be gone here. Justin Dill did not have to do that. Nasir Jamali strikes. Mohammad Ilyas apologize. Looks like
third man boundary. That's hit straight up in the air. That could very well be a catch. Positioning himself well. It's a beautiful catch. Oh, a fantastic catch. Mental aspect of high performance under pressure. Again, soft hands. This could be a problem. It is. Oh, brilliantly run out.
St. Louis Americans have.
That's gone. That's gone. That's allowed, Nick, and he walks.
150 is still on, especially with some hits like that. rocked back out of the back foot, and a slight punch there, and it crosses the boundary.
It steps up into the air. It's going to be a tough catch. It's a great catch.
Very smooth action. Whoa, that's a mighty hit on the leg side. That's going to run away to the boundary. One bounce. Vish Patel looks to play himself in. Oh,
Yeah,
that
he's
is
given.
gone. It looks straight.
He's gone. He's gone. Your banker's gone. You should have stuck with the 130.
He has gone only for 28 runs and got the important wicket. His ego. What a catch there! Beautifully taken. Zai Zakil finishes off. See how Abhimanyu Lamba has kept us. Again, he goes down. This is a good hit here. He's going to be taken. Mohammad Ilyas takes a nice running catch. What is for this franchise here? And that's exactly what is happening here. It's up in the air. He'll be gone. Again, Abhimanyu
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the coverage of the MILC. Here we have an interesting context going on a Saturday between Chicago Tigers and St. Louis Americans. We have the wonderful Peter Dry, myself, Anup Mohan. We have a couple of guests here today. Let's introduce Munir Kakkar and Mohammed Yas, who've been the tone and foundation behind the right of St. Louis Americans. Today we'll be interviewing them, and we want to show a little bit of cultural diversity there, where they will be talking in their regional language. How are you guys both doing, and how was the game so far?
स्टार्ट लिया उन्होंने सर में 50+ थे तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमने अच्छा कवर किया और अब कोशिश करेंगे कि आगे के लिए जल्दी चेस कर ले आगे हमारे लिए पाए.
Wonderful words there. Both of them are very excited, expected very high standards, and that's what they've delivered, and hopefully, God willing, they are going to be chasing the target here very soon. One of the questions that we want to ask them is what preparation they did before the tournament so that
तैयारी तो अच्छी थी कुछ महीनों से वैसे नहीं खेल रहा हूँ.
again, wonderful words there. They said that it's been of intense preparation going throughout the preseason. One of the interesting things that Mohammad Ali has mentioned is that this has been a hybrid wicket. It takes a couple of games to get used to it, and that's where you see the adaptation by these two gentlemen here to perform at these standards.
Guys, it was a fast being able to get it back from 50 with no wicket to 100 all out.
हाँ बिल्कुल शुरू में जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा कि 50+ रन हो गए हमें ना स्विंग मिला ना सीम मिला तो वो सर्कल में 2 फील्डर होते हैं ऑब्वियसली बाहर तो उसमें थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है. हम यही सोच रहे थे कि उसके बाद रन नहीं होंगे तो कोई बात नहीं अगर सर्कल में रन हो भी गए बाद में कवर कर लेंगे.
Just go through it.
I want to know what the answer was.
Oh, they said that they backed themselves that even though they scored initially, they want to go back to the foundation. Then all this and stop missing and allow them to hit big, and that's what
Very well.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done, guys. Excellent. Thanks for
all the
coming.
very finish it off and then come back here again, please. Yeah. 3 catches and a run out, right?
Good. Yeah, that catch as well. Brilliant.
Please, want to come back when we start or no?
That was just to have the perspective.
I think so. We should do it again.
That was so good.
Right?
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't pull it out.
Okay. Thank you very much. ऐसा ही होगा क्या?
Yesterday was miserable. One second, internet can check that.
A stellar performance from St. Louis Americans, who came back from the dead at 51 for no wicket after just 5 overs, and eventually bowled out the Tigers after their great start for 100 runs. And some notable performances all round by the St. Louis Americans, but we can't go on with this conversation before talking about Mitanch and his 47 or 39 balls on it.
It was a wonderful start. Mitanch has been threatening all through the season, but today he really put his head down. Got off to a slow start, but then was back nicely with Justin Dill at the non-strikers and guiding him through, and ended up with a well-made 47. Got out at a crucial time, but great props to the youngster, and it's going to do his confidence a world of good. But also a quick mention about St. Louis Americans bowling here, which was fantastic. Abhimanyu Lamba started off really nicely with Nasir Jamali, and then was backed by Zaid Zakil and Ujjwal Winakota, who were brilliant in their spells, which saw them tighten the nose on the Tigers and didn't offer anything at all. At one point of time, the Chicago Tigers were looking really good at 51 for no loss at the end of the 6th over, and then ultimately capitulated down to a paltry score of 100.
Yeah, and everyone chipped in. Winakota, Zakil, Jamali, Lamba all picked up 2 wickets. Winakota especially good, 2 overs, 3 runs for his 2 wickets, and Lamba 3 overs, 2 wickets for only 17 runs. So they came through really well after a slippery start. But I would say that a very good catch by Adi Jan that really started the rot, and continued work by Kakar, who picked up a run out and 3 catches, one off the spinner and one where he had to turn and run and just took a diving catch on the edge of the circle. So that really made all the difference, was that St. Louis Americans took the opportunities when they arose. But is 100 enough? We won't know until the end of the game. First ball to be bowled.
Oh, that's been beautifully struck on the offside. Norman Anwar picks up from where he left off. He's been brilliant in this tournament. Slightly outside the off stump, rocks back, square cuts it away. See, Chicago Tigers need a good start here, and that was not a good delivery.
Yeah, what a lovely start. Wow, off the middle of the bat. Fielders just watched it go through, cut the backward point and the cover beautifully. And that's
Pulls it, it's up in the air, he's going to be
taken. He could be
taken.
in trouble here. He could be in trouble, he is. What a disappointment.
Was not required at all. Norman Anwar, what have you done? Such a wonderful stroke maker. He was somebody I was looking forward to watching today. he's very, very, very disappointed. It got big on him. He got too positive, but that's exactly what Chicago Tigers required.
Not sure who took that catch. We'll hear in a second.
Mohit Patel
Patel?
is the opening bowler.
Yeah. Do we know who took the catch? Because it was he had to make a lot of ground.
It looked like Mutanch. We
Looked
just
like
have to wait for confirmation.
I think you could be right there. But had to run hard to his right, 20-30 meters, and took the ball out of the air, which is a difficult catch because there's a lot of cloud cover. It's a very white sky at the moment, and the white ball not showing up terribly well against the sky. So excellent start by the Tigers, and St. Louis Americans ready on the back foot.
We just get confirmation that it was a substitute. Soman Das, very well judged there, like Peter said. It's not easy. There's a lot of wind here and cloud cover. Judged it beautifully there. This is what I'm here for. Zaid Zakil. You got to watch this guy bat, Peter. He knows nothing other than going for it from the first delivery. Bats very fearlessly. Is he going to change his approach? Because there was a wicket at the end of the second delivery of the innings. I don't think so.
You know, we seldom see batters changing their approach, especially in the power play. They have to take advantage of the power play. So they are going to be looking to beat that inner ring of fielders.
And Mohit Patel, looks like it's a very smooth action that he's got. Wasn't phased by the first delivery, which was hit to the cover point boundary. Took the risk of bowling a bouncer. Naman Anwar took the bait and was nicely taken at short mid wicket. St. Louis Americans have to be careful here not to underestimate this target. There you go. He plays it away on the offside. That's what I'm talking about, Peter. This guy is pure blockbuster entertainment.
Yeah, that's a great shot. He's a stocky character. He's built well. Ball outside off, picked it up in the half volley. Almost a square drive to backward point. Straight through, nearly took out the umpire. But what a shot. What a shot. That's 2 boundaries in this opening over. Can they continue the momentum? St. Louis Americans.
Oh, no shot! That
That's
has gone
huge.
120 meters away to the mid-wicket boundary. There you go again. Did I call it or what?
Yeah, mate, it's one of the best predictions that you've made. I don't think it's a difficult prediction, but I'm going to give it to you. But he absolutely smashed that. For a moment, Anup, I thought your rental car was going to be in all sorts of trouble up there. Thankfully, it just drifted to the right, but that was a huge hit. That's a 100-meter hit.
This guy has got everybody in the ground here excited. Zahid Zakil has scored 112 runs so far, going at a strike rate of 200 in every game. For all you viewers, buckle up. You have some showbiz entertainment waiting for you as Mohit Patel runs into bowl to Zaid Zakil. This time he strokes it away on the offside towards third man, and to everyone's disappointment, it's just a single.
That's the end of the over. 14 off that over for 1 wicket.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Of 101 on a beautiful day here in St. Louis. The gateway to the west, as it is called, at the ACA Park. Calvin Savage picks up the ball. If you missed the entertainment of the first over, there were a couple of hits to the boundary. Everybody's buckled up here in the ground to watch Zaid Zakil, a very exciting prospect who is a very big hitter, knows no defense, and he just hit one of the biggest sixes that I have seen here at the ACA Park in the previous over.
Yeah, that was massive. I haven't seen a six that big. We see some big ones, but that's a biggie. He
How would you describe that shot, Peter? Do we have a description in the cricketing dictionary?
It looks like my cricket, to be fair. I'm not quite sure how to describe that, but he managed to get some sort of bat on it, and he squeezed out to backward square leg, which was not exactly where he was aiming.
It looked like a hockey penalty corner.
It did.
Take.
It did. He was really aiming for us here at deep extra cover and ended up in square leg.
Amongst all this, Adnit Jamb is the other opening batsman. Oh, guys, it away beautifully on the offside. Watched it. Pacey delivery. Adnit Jamb has played a lot of local cricket, all of only 15 years. What an experience for him to be playing the MILC. Though he is only 15, has a strong head on his shoulders, is very flamboyant. He is the flamboyant of the two brothers.
Yeah,
Arnav Jamb also is an exciting prospect who we can look forward to in the next few overs if he gets his opportunity with the bat.
Just held that shot back, didn't he? Oh, he was going for another big one there, was Zakil, and he just said, oh, no, let me just hold this one off. So, again, not a classic for defensive at all, but he has intent, that is for sure. Grip right down at the bottom. He's choking that bat grip. There's a lot of bottom hand in this. Ball comes back. He will get bat on it, and he's making quick ground to the non-strikers where the ball goes and gets a single off that one. So tidy over for the Tigers.
Zaid Zakil has hit 11 sixes in this tournament. One of the highest six hitters. This is a big ground, mind you, comparatively to the other grounds that they've played at. Adnit Jamb and Arnav Jamb, of two Jamb brothers, their parents Ajay Jamb and Priyanka must be really proud. They've been doing well in this tournament.
It's a quick delivery, and Jamb shows full face of the bat. Good composure from the youngster. There's no need to rush. They have plenty of wickets in hand and plenty of overs in hand, so no need for rash shots. I think Zakil is going to go for it anyway. It is the power play, and he is that attacking batsman, and I think he's been given all rights to go big. That will be a wide ball.
That's a wide low on the leg side. Good pace. Adnit Jamb, what I really like about him is his commitment. He is wholehearted. There are no half measures with him. Again, the experience that MILC he's given to some of those players who are promising, like Adnit Jamb, has been fantastic, has been coached well. His parents have instilled a lot of discipline in him. Oh! That's taken off there from nowhere. The keeper had to collect it above his head. Again, good pace. At the end of the second over, it's 19 for the loss of 1 wicket.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
It's the third over. St. Louis Americans chasing a target of 101 are 19 for the loss of 1 wicket. Zaid Zakil is on strike. Beautiful hit down the ground. That's going to the boundary. That'll be a 4. Nice hit down the ground. What I like about Zaid Zakil is, again, there are no half measures. He packs a punch, and there is clarity in his thought. He reminds me of Virendra Sehwag, where Virendra Sehwag did not have any inhibitions about the strokes that he was going to play. And when he hits it, the ball stays hit.
Yeah, he's a very clean striker. Indeed, here it goes again. He has another swing and a miss. Head up in the air, foot planted forward, and has a full swing of it, does Zakil. I think someone needs to tell him this is a T20, not a T10. But maybe he's got a lunch date. Maybe he's hungry. He just wants to go and get an early lunch and wants to get this game over with. And he really could. If they don't get on top of him quickly, he could take this game away early on.
So a couple of trays of biryani being passed by us. Again, it's a short delivery, hooks it away. That's going down to the boundary. That's again wonderfully struck on the leg side. Syed Zakil moves on to 21 very quickly here. That's his fourth hit.
Yeah, crossing the boundary again. Maybe someone should tell him that you can run ones and twos, but he's just a stand and deliver kind of guy. But that was beautifully played, actually. Not a great delivery from Patel, but Zakil doesn't try to overhit it and just helps it on its way.
Mohit Patel has to get his line and length correct here, because Syed Zakil is on a rampage. Tries to hike on the leg side. Big appeals.
He really does go for everything, doesn't he? He's super entertaining to watch. He's just not going to block a lot.
Watch his stance. It's very compact. It's not like he's doing a lot. It's not very extravagant. He has a very firm head and then packs a punch with his broad shoulders.
Yeah, and that choked grip as well, isn't that? So that bottom hand is really coming into action.
Again, a loud appeal.
He takes a few blows as well on the body, doesn't he?
That's his style of batting there. He's eyeing the cow corner, mid-wicket, and square leg. Watch for one coming towards us. Peter, all of us need helmets here in the stands.
Yeah, we're going to get one out here very soon. I can just see that. He's going to step forward, roll his wrist just a little bit, and that ball is going to come straight over us. There is a fielder here right on the boundary at deep square leg there.
And Mohit runs into ball to Syed Zakil down the wicket. Again, out and outside. It's tricky, but that's his fifth boundary there. He's had 4 fours and a 6. You give him width, he is going to flay at it.
It's 31 for 1 after the third over. It's fun to watch. He is fun to watch. Calvin Savage back into the attack. It's wide, well picked up by the keeper. Calvin Savage comes from a decent high school, Maritzburg College, where they have produced a few good cricketers. You may know some of them. John T. Rhodes, same high school. Kevin Peterson, same high school. David Miller, same high school. Calvin Savage, Maritzburg College. And he was coached by someone who actually coached me in hockey, Mike Bechet, fantastic coach. What a character he is. And speaking to Calvin last year, he really accredited a lot of his growth and his ability to the coaching that Besh, as we called him, gave to him as a youngster. But an incredible sporting school. I could list a whole lot of Springbok rugby players that come from the school as well, but and hockey players too, but I'll just stop with the cricketers for now.
Great cricketing pedigree and all the names that you mentioned, Peter.
Yeah, it's some serious pedigree there.
Nicely guided away on the offside by Adne Jam. He doesn't have to do anything extravagant here. Just put Zahid, Boom Boom, Zakil back on strike.
I like that.
And watch the fun from the best seat in the ground, the non-striker's end. Did you go to the same high school as well, Peter? There's some
I did.
very good characters come out of the high school that you went to.
Yes, Rabada is one of them. No, I did not go to the high school, but I was typically always on the receiving end of beatings from Maritzburg College in whatever sport I played. Has he been given out? No. Umpire's very clear. That's not out. Was on the thigh pad. So a little bit of excitement there. But dust will settle. Batsmen will stay where they are.
How serious is sports in South Africa, Peter? Do you think it's a dream for all youngsters growing up to represent their nation? Is there good money in all the sports? Is there encouragement? How's the infrastructure?
The high school infrastructure is quite remarkable. And that's where these young players come through.
Zaid Zakil again. Ooh.
Takes another one on the body.
It looked
Gonna
like
be
it
a
was at
few
the midriff
bruises
there. That's going to sting a little bit. All of you look away.
You call it in the midriff, okay? We use other names for that, but no, he seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. Yeah.
He
Might
is
have just
strong.
missed the midriff.
Yeah. I think having this kind of a batting technique, he's probably prepared himself well over the years
Yeah.
to take a few knocks there. Yeah, Zaid Zakil. It was very interesting. I didn't know anything about this guy when he played his first game for St. Louis Americans. He came blazing from ball one. Change of pace there. Very experienced Calvin Salvage. You can see the difference between the inexperience of the other players who are feeding the strengths of Zaid Zakil versus Calvin Salvage, who's making Zaid Zakil work here for his runs.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's short of the length and it's quick. And very difficult to get away, and Savage is going to have to maintain his discipline. See if he can force the batter into a rash shot. There'll be some frustration, no boundary for a while. There it is. That's exactly what I was talking about. And the wicket is done. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
A disappointing end to Zaid Zakil's innings. You can just feel the lull in the ground here. Such big expectations. Didn't have to go for it. It's a good bowler. He's bowled a good over so far. He's not been in an element in the last few deliveries. Zaid Zakil mistimes it, and a neat catch there to send him back to the pavilion. St. Louis Americans still have this under control, but they got to be a little careful here as they lose their second wicket.
Yeah, Zakil was entertaining to watch, but we were just chatting here, getting that sense that he was going to get frustrated. He only knows one way, and that's attack. And Savage had done very well to keep him pinned back, and you just had a sense that rash shot was going to come. It wasn't on. Popped the ball up and an easy catch in the end. So good bowling by the captain.
If you noticed what Calvin Savage did, it's a great learning experience for youngsters. He pulled his length back a little bit, changed his pace, didn't give anything away to Zaid Zakil, frustrated him, and Zaid Zakil, because of the good over up until the delivery got out, didn't want to step out because he didn't know whether Calvin Salvage was going to bounce him, was going in with a slow delivery, or was going to bowl length to him. Ultimately, the battle was Calvin Salvage 1, Zaid Zakil 0. But Zaid Zakil did the damage that he required and was sent in for 25 of 17 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. That brings Nasar ul Haq. Oh, beautiful shot by Adi Jam. Looks exquisite there. He has played many a games on this particular pitch and knows it like the back of his hand. He's nicely stroked himself in here. He needs to hang in there and play a long innings while people play around him.
Yeah, he's got time. It'll be a great opportunity. He's not under huge amounts of pressure. And if he can just hang around and take the singles and punish the loose balls, I think it's a really good opportunity for him to build that confidence as a youngster new to minor league cricket.
So quietly, Deep Chand has come into the attack here. He needs to back his captain up, who's bowled well. Calvin Savage, 2 overs, 6 runs and 1 wicket. This looks a little two-paced wicket here. Zaid Zakil obviously didn't care for that and wanted to plant every ball into the stands. But this is the opportunity that Chicago Tigers have to bowl a few tight overs and pull themselves back into the game. There you go again, kept low.
Yeah, that did keep low. Again, not a great shot. Head in the air. It really does look like anything that's vaguely near a half volley, they're going to go for it. But they do get the bye off that ball and scamper through for a run, putting Jam back on strike.
This is where every run is going to be so crucial. Munir Kakar was brilliant as a wicketkeeper and tidy behind the stumps, and that was a needless bye. In a low scoring game like this one, every run counts. Adnan Jam back on strike, high back lift, plays it nicely towards point. Adnan Jam. What I like about the brothers is their commitment towards cricket. In passing on the flight here from Brazil, was looking at some of the other stats. They're actually, Adnan and Arnab are going to play a game after this for the local team because they don't have enough players. Look at the commitment that they have.
Yeah, and they won't mind a bit. Just watching this delivery, and I've got another story about young Adi Jam. He'll scamper through for a single. I remember a few seasons ago, he was 11 or 12 years old, and he just scored a really big 100, like 150 plus. I mean, this is a kid who scored a couple of double centuries as a youngster, and he just scored a 150 plus. And before the game was over, he was back in the nets, and he had all these kids bowling at him. He just has this insatiable appetite.
That's in the air.
very
He's going to
high.
be taken. Again, an unnecessary shot from Nisarul Haq. Deep Chand strikes there. Needless shot. Last ball of the over. That's the 3rd wicket down for St. Louis Americans. 33 at the end of the 4th over.
Two more wickets soon, and it's game on.
Yeah. Get Ujjwal Vinakota in and get him. You want help or
Into the 5th over, and I'm sure we'll have a change of bowling.
So, the brothers are at the crease, Arnab and Adi. I mentioned briefly previously that Adi is the flamboyant of the brother. I mentioned about Arnab. I really love this guy. He is so cool, so calm, very respectful, always learning. Had a good outing yesterday where he scored 43.
Lovely outing for him. Really big confidence booster for the young man. Still at school. Local school, MICDS they go to. Fantastic school. Boys have enjoyed playing football at the school. American football. So that means they've been into the gym, got bigger, stronger. It's been good for them.
I've
Really
seen
good for them.
I've seen the evolution of Arnab over the years. He was always very interested, very passionate, but worked on his physique, worked on his technique, and he is playing in the big boys league. He was also the highest run scorer, Arnab Jam, in the local league in the first tournament. Scored big, scored mighty. What a proud moment for the St. Louis community to have 2 homegrown players from St. Louis representing the Nationals here in MILC.
I really like that running between wickets. Artie putting the pressure on the fielder by almost running as he was playing the shot. Very John T. Rhodes-like. That reminds me of that wonderful player. But it meant that the fielder was immediately under pressure as the ball left the bat, lifted his head, misfield, single. So good intensity there by Artie Jam. His brother to face now. Arnav is a very sweet striker of the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the ball travel over the inner ring.
Arnav
He's
and
collected
Adi
that one.
are very proud proteges of Ajay Jam and Priyanka, their parents. If you're watching, thank you for producing this pedigree for us to be entertained here. You both have to be so proud of Adit and Arnav representing St. Louis Americans here on this wonderful occasion. All your efforts are paid off to watch them. Goes for a booming drive here. Nothing fancy is required. They've got the runs here, Peter. They have to play themselves in a little bit. They know the conditions really well. They know the pitch. They know the outfield. It's their home. They play here 5 days a week. You have to stick to your basics here and back yourself.
Yeah, he'll probably be saying the ball is up there. Almost a half volley. It's there to be hit. There's no one in the deep long on or deep long off area, so not a bad option. That's gone down the leg side. That'll be a wide. Showing off his soccer skills as he throws the ball in back to the bowler. Yeah, it's 38 for 3 off the 5 overs. There's 6 over. So the run rate's fine. You wouldn't want it to slip too much. And you certainly wouldn't want to lose too many more wickets. But 2 quick wickets now. And I think it's game on for Chicago.
I've watched Vineet Sinha bowl in this tournament and he's been thoroughly impressive. He's got a nice hoppy action and he's got a very nice stock delivery that comes in. And it's really hard to pick. I saw him get quite a few LBWs in the games that he's played so far. Looks like a strong lad with a very hoppy action. Watch for that in-swinger. He's aiming for the wickets.
That's very streaky. Inside edge. Down to kind of a wide, fine leg. And that'll be the end of the over. 39 runs for 3 wickets.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Again, the beauty of MILC is full on in display here, where it's the battle between all cultures, all ages. You're watching St. Louis Americans versus Chicago Tigers here. An interesting fact that was just mentioned by Ziggy here is that Peter Vineet Sinha, who just completed his last over here, he is representing the US national team in the over 40s league. So here you have a 40-plus-year-old bowling to a 15-year-old Adit Jam. And how about that for diversity and inclusion? As you see him on the offside, oh, unfortunately it's taken a beautiful stroke but goes right down the neck of the sweeper cover. A disappointing end to Arnav's knock there. He walks back very dejectedly. It was a good stroke, was there to hit, but a well-placed fielder took it right above his head.
You know, he's going to learn about placement there. He rocked back, gave himself some room, and then just slapped it straight down the throat of the fielder. I was lucky enough to meet Brian Lara briefly, and I asked him what was one of the reasons why he scored so many runs that people maybe don't know about, and he said his ability to hit it into spaces. And that's a classic example of when you don't hit into space, what happens. The shot was on, the placement off. So the great Brian Lara would say, hit it into space. So St. Louis Americans in a little bit of trouble now. In their 7th over, they're 4 wickets down. They've only got another 70 odd runs to, or 60 runs to go for. But one more wicket and things could be a little bit tight. Got our keeper in.
Munir Kakar, we talked to him briefly during the luncheon interval here.
What did he have to say?
It was a very nice interview that we covered, but unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, could not be streamed. He spoke in his local language, and Peter asked him the question of what was going on through his mind when Chicago got off to a bright start, and how he was instrumental in pulling back his team with 3 catches and a brilliant run out. And he said, we wanted to go down into the basics and focus on the next delivery and didn't think too long. It was really brilliant words that he mentioned. He said they talked as a team to put pressure inside the circle, stop the singles, and let them go big. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's well summarized. Thank you. Interesting to hear what he had to say. He was instrumental with his 4 wickets behind the stumps.
He's from Afghanistan. It's interesting. Kandahar in Afghanistan. Lovely how cricket has been globalized over the years, and now Afghanistan is a force. It was very war-stricken a few years ago, where people were fleeing just to survive, and now it's one of the forces to reckon with. Rashid Khan obviously is the face of Afghanistan cricket, and so is Munir Kakar. Did you see that shot?
Yeah, there's the difference.
He adjusted it so well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Peter was talking about. Is he saw the gap, he didn't try to hit it too hard. He placed it. You called it really well, Peter. Ajay Arnav is going to be kicking himself in the heart a little bit, but he's going to be a better player through this experience. His brother Adnat is out doing the job. 41 for the loss of 4 wickets. Welcome back to all our viewers. Myself, Anup Mohan, calling this game with my favorite commentator in the world, Peter Dry.
So my question is, how many commentators do you know?
About 2. That's you and me.
That's all right.
Between you and me, you're my favorite
I'm still
commentator.
your favorite. That's good to know. So an interesting game here, Anup. It's I'm feeling a little more tense than I thought I would, with 41 for 4 of 7 overs. And we have Adi Jam in there who opened the batting, still only on 5 runs. So very slow for him. But he's building a nice innings for himself, not panicking, and nor should he be.
I think that's exactly what was needed. And this is what I like, is he's reading the situation so well. He's got the shots, but he's not going for it. He'll play himself in, wait for those extras, wait for those singles, wait for those loose deliveries. As you continue to see Vineet Sinha, who plays his trade in Chicago in his local leagues. He's going to be playing the Nationals this year with Zigman Patel. Outside the off stump, that's going to be a wide. He has to re-bowl that delivery. He's got a nice in-swinger. Why doesn't he want to stick to that? He probably is overcorrecting from the previous delivery that he straight down the leg side. Again, a great testament to all the coaches at the ACA Academy who have invested time in youngsters to see that 15-year-old prodigy, Adi Jam, represents St. Louis Americans, who's on strike here. As Vineet runs into ball. Tucked away on the leg side. They scamper through for a single, called a leg by. So you have a hockey game tomorrow coming up, and apparently because of that you're going to miss your commentating duties. Do you have any explanation for your fans?
I do. I don't. My daughter is a player at St. Louis University, and I have been asked to commentate for the season, and their dates came out before these dates did, so that's why I am now booked. Calling for the 2 runs very quickly, but there's not to be good fielding there by the Tigers. Yeah.
We are going
Hockey
to
or
excuse you for this one occasion, but next time we want you to be fully committed to your commentating.
I am fully committed to my family, which is why I will be watching my daughter. I love watching my kids play sport, and yeah, you know, it's not, kiddos aren't around for that long, and I just one of my treasures is watching them play sport. It's gone down the leg against a 3rd wide of the over.
Fair words from Peter Try. Prioritizing the right things in his life. A great lesson for everybody watching. Spend time with your family.
Yeah, it's interesting commentating cricket and then going to commentate hockey. I mean, hockey is such a fast game, and there's very little room for conversation, you know, and you want to make sure you're not just calling the play-by-play, but you're actually offering something more than that. So it's been definitely a learning curve for me, but most enjoyable.
What I heard is we make each other better.
Yes, we do. This is a strange over, isn't it? We've just got, you know, some very wide balls and some very good balls, and Adi Jam not showing any desire to go after the bowling. He's quite happy to anchor this innings for St. Louis Americans, and as I said, he does love to bat, so he's not going to throw his wicket away.
And this is what an innings like, oh, it's in the air, slightly short of the fielder. This is what an innings like Zaid Zakil does, Peter, is that it allows you to play yourself in, because he's hit a couple of mighty thumps out of the ground and given impetus to the run chase here, so that people like Adi and Munir can play themselves in. Mind you, they have some big hitting batsmen still to come, like Angad, Ujjwal, Abhinyu and Mohammad Ilyas and Nasir can all hit a big ball. So I think this is perfectly okay for Adnan to play himself in, read the situation and inch towards the target. It's still well within reach here. Oh,
That is a beautiful shot. He leaned into it with all of his body. Really good to see that right leg coming into play as well. Beautiful timing, just stroked it through the gap for 2 runs. Lovely cricket shot, didn't try to overhit it. Good placement, good timing. End of the over at 48 for 4.
what's to be seen is if the run chase comes to a point where they have to chase more than 6 runs per over, they will have to make a push here. So far they're playing themselves in. You saw a pleasing off drive by Adnet in the previous over. They need more of that.
Yeah, what I loved about that shot was the transfer of weight. Did you see that? Just from that back right leg into that left front leg, head head down, head still, bat playing through the line. It's really good cricket.
What approach is Munir Kakar going to take here? He can hit a big one. Plays it on back to the bowler.
I was going to say he's a wicket keeper, so the likelihood of him eventually going for a big one is very high. But I will say there's been some tight bowling. Other than Zakir, who got after it, I'm not sure anyone else has even hit a boundary.
And this has been the USP of Chicago Tigers. Their batting has lacked significantly, where their big guns have not fired, but they have been very consistent with their bowling. Vinit Sinha changes ends here, interestingly. Do you think that has anything to do with the wind here?
Yeah, I would say so. The wind has definitely picked up. Question for you, Anup, on the field setting of the Chicago Tigers. The way they're going to win this game is by getting wickets, and yet this is a very defensive field that they've got. Any thoughts?
I see 4 fielders on the boundary. I wouldn't push all of them back, especially with a stride bowler like Vineet bowling in. They want to dry up the runs here, obviously. Right, Kapur through for a quick single. And maybe an overthrow here. Oh, sent back. We always say, miss fields, don't run. Keep it simple, silly. Yeah, going back to the field again. They're not trying to go for the big ones. They're looking for singles. Why would you have 4 fielders back on the boundary? There's a deep third man. Deep point. Deep fine leg. And square of the wicket. There's a deep square leg. Again, look at that. They tap and run. Exactly what you were mentioning, Peter. Dry up these runs. Put the pressure. Now they're soaking up all this pressure themselves. And if I am the bowler, I would be asking the field and talking to the captain to bring the field up to back me a little bit here.
Yeah, that run should not be getting in at all, and they just beautiful placement, quick calling between the wickets, and they scampered through for a very comfortable single at the end of the day. Field just stepped in a little bit more squeezing from the Tigers. Ball drifting out wide, and I'm just trying to maybe soft hands play it down to third man. There's no one down here at the third. Is he on the field? He is on the field. I couldn't just see him in the shadows there. So Adnit does play that shot well. He's got lovely soft hands, glides the ball very well. Just push the cover out a little bit and the mid-off out a little bit, because Jam does play a very good cover drive.
You saw a slight change in the field there, where they moved the cover fieldsman a little straighter.
Oh, he plays it onto his own stumps. He's going to run it down again and plays it onto his own stumps. Very disappointing for the young man. He was looking well set, anchoring the innings, but is out for just 10 runs.
I was just about to say, he plays so well down the ground, but he was looking to be cheeky there. Unfortunately, plays one onto his stumps. That extra pace did it for him. A disappointing end to Adi Jam's innings. St. Louis Americans lose their 5th wicket for 51.
You can come in now. Yeah, I'm fine. You sort this out.
That 5th wicket has suddenly made things a little complex here for St. Louis Americans. Angad Bhatia comes to the crease. An exciting prospect Angad is. He can bat long, he can hit long. Suddenly, there's a game on here.
Yeah, I think you're right, Anup. I think, a quick wicket now the 1-2 punch is critical. Still not an entirely attacking field though.
I think the strategy is they want to drive the boundaries and see if St. Louis Americans are going to do something silly here. Here are really contrasting innings to Chicago Tigers, where Chicago Tigers' intent was very clear. They wanted to target a score of 160, 170, and they played their shots, but St. Louis Americans have been edgy a little bit here. Plays it on the leg side. Quick scamper through to a single.
It's really good running.
Excellent judge there.
You see, they can win the game like this. They can win the game with singles.
We always say an excellent judge of a run is a quick judge of a run. You have a microsecond to decide, look at your partner, trust him to go. And that's exactly what happened there. Singles are very crucial here. Something that Chicago Tigers didn't do a good job of. Angad, it's a little shuffly at the crease, very stylish. Represented St. Louis Americans last year as well.
Yeah, he's a good cricketer. Hits the ball very cleanly as well. He's going to run well between wickets. Both these batters are going to run well between wickets, actually. And that'll keep the Tigers on their toes and have them second guessing. Where should I put my players? Should I bring them all into the circle? Should I put some out and save the boundaries? If I bring them in, I'm going to chip it over. And that's what you want as a batter, to keep them guessing. That's a nice little touch. Rolled his wrists over the ball. They're going to come through for a single. I think the Tigers will be thinking, if we can restrict them to maybe 3 or 4 runs and over, chip away at a few wickets in between, suddenly you've got 2 overs and you've got 20 runs to get.
That's exactly what Kevin Salvage will be thinking at this point of time. Deep Chand has bowled very tidily here. This is his 3rd over, 2.4 overs, 1 for 11. He's been crucial for this comeback. I've been very impressed by Chicago Tigers bowling lineup. Oh, goes down the ground. Beautiful shot there. Munir Kakar. We knew he had a shot in him, waited for it, judged the length, went down the ground, and a welcome boundary for St. Louis Americans. Takes the score on to 57. Need a few more of those, but this is where it's going to be crucial. Munir Kakar should not get ahead of the game here. He's got a boundary. They got enough runs of this over. Needs to see it out. Oh, runs it down to 3rd man. That's racing away. It'll be the 2nd boundary, consecutive boundary in this over. Streaky. Nevertheless, St. Louis Americans are going to take it. 61 for the loss of 5 wickets at the end of the 10th over.
Not for those 2 boundaries, it would have been 53.
Welcome back, everybody. You're hearing the voice of Peter Dry and myself, Anup Mohan, watching the coverage of the 2024 MILC being played here at the ACA Park in Wentzville, St. Louis, Missouri. An exciting contest being battled away in the middle between Chicago Tigers and St. Louis Americans.
Yeah, the game just shifted there ever so slightly, didn't it? You could feel a little bit of pressure building up on St. Louis Americans, and then 2 quick boundaries, and just pressure shifted back to the Tigers now. That ball turned and bounced. It's well delivered.
Seeing spin for the first time today from Chicago Tigers.
I'm liking the first slip in there. I'm liking a little bit more of an attacking field. I really think St. Louis and the Tigers have to be more attacking.
In fact, it is Rahul Basu who got Arnav Jamba out. My apologies. He's already bowled a tidy first over.
He did.
Looks like he's bowling leg break. A fastish leg break. That single brings Munir onto the crease. Interesting reverse sweep.
think he set himself for a reverse hit, and then realised he had a lot more time.
Yeah. It was a reverse swat eventually.
Yeah, it was. It was eventually a swat.
You know, if interestingly, just looking at the replay, you could have played another shot, like corrected his stance.
It's well fielded off his own bowling. It's always off spinners need to be very good fielders off their own bowling, and one single saved. Well done.
Rahul Basu looks like he's got a nice high arm action, nice release point. This pitch is definitely going to offer something. Zaid Zakil got it to do something, and now he's keeping it tidy. That's just a single push down to long off. That's all they need. Would you bring in a couple of fielders in and ask and invite the batsman to go over the top here, Peter?
Yeah, I would, for sure. I think you've got to risk it, because all intents and purposes you're going to lose this game.
Because just look at that.
Well fielded by Mitanch. Excellent. Keeps it down to just the 1 run. Beautiful done.
With no
Beautiful
risk
work.
at all. They got 3 runs. It's over. End of the over. 64 for the loss of 5 wickets.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Even though they've lost 5 wickets, St. Louis Americans still in control of this chase. They need to strike at only 4.11 per over, but they have lost 5 wickets. A couple of wickets is going to make this chase a little tricky. Angad and Munir Kakar at the crease for St. Louis Americans.
Is it worth bringing back a strike bowler at this stage, or is it too early? Do you take that risk and not have him there at the end? You might not even need him in there at the end. I mean, what are you thinking, Anup?
You notice that Vineet Sinha comes back for another change end. Oh, that's slightly up in the air. Yeah, the change of ends has been interesting. He's bowled 2 overs from this end and 1 over from the other end.
It is interesting. Our bowlers definitely have their preferred end, don't they? And it can be something just so small that annoys them from one end, or they don't want to bowl into the wind. And if you're a more senior player, of course you get to choose. I'm not running uphill. I'm not dealing with that ledge. I'm not running into the wind.
I actually prefer what he's doing now, because I think this one will help him bring the ball back into the right-hander. He strikes it down the ground. Beautiful shot. A short arm jab down the ground. Brings up another boundary for Munir Kakar.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Going in for the Yorker. Just a little bit short in terms of length. And Kakar getting onto it very quickly, as you said. Just a nice punch. A lot of bottom hand in there. Kept it along the ground. Lovely shot.
Vineet needs to come back strong here. It's a tight delivery there. Shy at the stumps. No.
That's the Yorkie he was aiming for, wasn't he? Yeah, it's a good ball. Well dug out.
Again, if you see, Munir Kakar is moving around in his crease a little bit to unsettle the bowler. It's a game of cat and mice here. These small, intricate subtleties that play such a crucial role. As Vineet runs it to bowl, he's going to be aiming at the stumps. Again, hits it down the ground. That's going to be another boundary there. Beautifully stroked away. Oh, he's pulled it in. It slowed down as it got to the boundary. They just take a single. Or they go back
they came through for 2.
All right.
Came through for 2 there. Yeah, good shot. Kakar starting to get hungry and excited to get to lunch early. Wants to wrap this game up. Exactly 30 runs needed for victory plenty of overs in hand. Fielder is now being moved back to the long off boundary.
It's been an
Opens up
expensive
some
over.
space. Has been an expensive over.
He has to finish well here. Can he get a wicket and pull the Tigers back in? That's up in the air. It's a mighty hit over mid-wicket. A beautiful shot by Munir Kakar. Backs his brilliant wicket keeping with a mighty hit here. Is carrying forward the St. Louis Americans towards this run chase.
Yeah, there it is. There's your typical keeper. They just don't have a whole lot of patience. Interesting shot, because I think
It's
that
a
ball
swat, is it?
Yeah, like a half volley swat. Ball going outside off stump, and he swatted it flat bat almost over the long on boundary. Oh, bit of confusion here. They do come through for the single. This has been a really good over, right up to 79 runs for 5 wickets.
That was an expensive previous over from Vineet Sinha after bowling a brilliant first spell. Again, I am not a big fan of these change of ends here. He was bowling well, changed his end, came back, changed his end again, and gave 15 runs in that over. Let's see what Rahul Bose would be able to deliver here. Munir Kakar on strike is looking good here. Very nicely chips it down the leg side here. They look for 2.
Yeah, he called it too early. Fielder has to run all the way out there. Beautiful piece of fielding. By the bowler, who runs all the way to a deep square leg, showing great pace across the ground. Beats his deep square leg fielding buddy and whips the ball in. Will now have to go back to his mark to bowl the next delivery. But good intensity still from the youngster, regardless of this situation. He is excited to still be on this field and looking after every run.
Munir Kakar has quietly moved on to 29 of 21 deliveries.
Anup, help me out here. Opposition team arrives. They literally walk down the bank of the bowling side. Game stops so that they can get the heck out of the way. You'd think these guys would know their cricket etiquette by now. That's short. Calls for the 2 straight away. Oh, this is going to be dangerous, but he's quick. Oh, that's beautifully
Is he
run.
quick or what?
Beautifully run. Wow, he is quick indeed.
Again, you got to show a little bit of cricketing sense here. There's a game that's next, and those 2 teams are standing right in front of the side screen like it's nobody's business. Move out of the way, guys. There's a game going on. It's getting the organizers frustrated a little bit, as you see. A reverse sweep. The damage that is done is an injury to the batsman. It looks like it's some cramps.
No, I think he just hit himself. I thought it was cramps initially, but I think he's absolutely clattered himself on the foot. We'll see the replays there.
If we can get a replay of it. He tries to go for a reverse hit, loses his footing, hits himself. The ball ends up in the wicketkeeper's hands, and now he's down for the count. You see again, he clatters his foot there.
Oh, that could be nasty. It's like when those Yorkers get you in the foot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no protection there. You know, in the good old days, I remember my dad's cricketing, like literally cricketing boots.
Yeah.
They were like these rock solid boots that he'd whiten, get the old whitener out, and white, like paint on the white before every game.
You know, Peter, we back home in India in the 90s and early 2000s used to play in mud grounds, and they used to all turn into brown shoes at the end of the game. So I used to get yelled at by my mom, and who knew little that I had nothing to do with me dirtying the shoes myself. It's not like I ran into a mud pit just to dirty the shoes and get yelled at by her.
Yeah, and we'd have coaches that wouldn't let you play if your cricket pads and your
Pristine.
and your boots were not pristine. So yeah, we get this tube of almost white paint and have to paint our pads every Friday evening and paint our shoes, because now you can just chuck it into the wash and everything's okay. But back in the day,
You got those fancy wipes as well.
yeah.
So
yeah,
it looks like there's
exactly.
prolonged treatment here for Munir Kakar after that interesting shot where he stroked his shoes.
Yeah, I'm not sure he stroked it. I think he just smashed his foot. That's very you stroke a boundary. It's a gentle. He smashed his foot, but he's back and he's up.
He is a stoic character.
Ego bruised, maybe a little bit.
I think he took a little while longer just to recover from the embarrassment of that
Oh,
shot.
that would have hurt.
But nonetheless, he's been brilliant today.
He has
Great
been.
Great in the field with his wicket keeping. Has stroked himself beautifully. To 31 again.
And
Plays a beautiful shot. All of the embarrassment of the last ball of the last over wiped away in one shot towards the leg side where Rahul was a little shortish.
Yeah.
Just swept him away to the boundary. Wonderful shot. Taking responsibility for the team here. And the St. Louis Americans moved to 86 with Munir Kakar on 35. Very
Kakar
sensible
still-
batting.
Kakar hobbling a little bit as he runs through for that single. He won't be too excited for any more singles. I think he's going to want to stand at an end and just finish off the game with boundaries. 87 for 5 in the 13th over.
You still see fielders in the deep here. I don't understand the strategy here. At the end of the over, 87 for the loss of 5 wickets. Special batting by Munir Kakar, who's taking his team through the score here. He's been brilliant so far. Angad supporting him at the other end. Chicago Tigers were in with a sniff briefly, but then that sniff has been completely fragranced by this brilliant performance. Who Peter and I were talking is our man of the match so far, Munir Kakar. He's from Afghanistan, speaks a few languages, from Kandahar. Very proud Afghani. It's been so special to see Afghanistan produce a slew of brilliant cricketers. As you see, Shiv Sani comes into bowl left armour. He's a U19 player, been given the opportunity with Chicago Tigers. That's something that they have done very well, is invest in youth as well, like the St. Louis Americans. Big game tomorrow, Peter. The mighty Chicago Kingsmen are going to take on the second place team, St. Louis
gonna be
Americans.
A very good game indeed. That's going to go all the way. Another 4. Ugly shot, but you don't get those comments in the scorebook, do you?
Very effective.
A pretty
you
4 and an ugly 4 still counts as a 4. 91 for 5.
Honestly, I think that's his technique. Is he's stoic. He packs a punch. He plays from the crease. Does not have a lot of footwork.
Especially when you've only got one foot at the moment. His other foot's going to be
Boy,
pretty
does he
darn
pack
bruised.
a punch.
Yeah, he's had a good game. 40 runs now for his team.
Munir Kakar with an injured foot.
Oh.
With an injured foot and a bruised ego, is blazing away the Chicago Tigers. If you're referring to that interesting reverse hit where he smacked his foot.
He hasn't pulled that one out again, has he?
I think that'll be a little while before we see that shot again. when we pull him across to talk in the post-match, we're definitely going to pull his leg, not the one that he smacked, the other one. With
The jokes just keep coming.
he's got a very interesting technique. Oh, there's an overthrow there. That's running away to the boundary. Is it going to be pulled across? It will, but they're going to scamper through to shoddy fielding there from the Chicago Tigers. This is where St. Louis Americans' fielding was brilliant. Something worthy of a mention. That's one of the best fielding performances that I've seen from St. Louis Americans and by any team in a long time. They took catches, run-outs, wicketkeeper alert.
There are probably 4 really good catches. When there's one in the deep here, Jam took a really good one, and then Kaká took 2 difficult catches, one running back, one low down with the spinner. Overpitched. Should just be the 1 run. Ball bounces, but collected. And they'll stay with the 1 run. 94. So coming ever so closely to a solid victory.
They need 7 more runs. Munir Kakar plays his bat like he's swinging a sword, where he is packing a punch. Angad doesn't have to do anything interesting. End of the over. Are you commentating or are you coaching or are you doing commentating? Oh, that's nice. Is it like live on TV? Or like on YouTube?
I don't know if they put it on YouTube. I think they put it on Facebook channel or something.
Is it just you or you have another person with you?
No, it's just me. It's hard. How much? This is a few times I've done cricket by myself.
But it's very different.
At least hockey's done pretty quickly.
How long?
Probably an hour, 15 minutes.
Welcome back. This might be the last over of the innings with 7 runs required. There goes for a reverse hit. This is what he was trying. This is for the commentators where we were making fun of him. The last shot that he tried, the attempt, hit his foot and he was down for 15 minutes, and now he tries that and plants it into the boundary. Very interesting shot. Very, very unconventional Munir Kakar, but he is being effective or what?
Yeah, he's on 47 now, and let's put $10 on it that he's going to go for his 50. Why would you leave in the 40s and not out?
20, next ball. He's going for it. There's another one again. This time.
Oh, he's been given.
He's disappointed. He thinks it hit his bat.
Is he being given?
Umpire.
I can't tell what's happened.
Yep, he's been given out.
Yeah, he has been given out.
He got to walk. He's disappointed. Nobody's celebrating. That also has to do with the state of the game right now.
I do appreciate that almost all batters, when they've been given out, stand for quite a while. What are they expecting? The umpire to change their mind? A committee to come and make the decision?
I am going to add another data point to the number of times that a batsman who has been given out thinks he is not out. There has not been a single batsman in the history of cricket who has ever thought that he was LBW when he's been given out. Not one.
Always played a bad shot.
Always going down the leg side. Always hit the bat. Always high.
Oh, that's a great pity. I mean, it's a super innings. He really did push the game over the edge for his team.
Rapturous applause around the ground for Munir Kakar. He was brilliant. He's quite the entertainer. He's a very colorful character when you talk to him as well. Well, it looks like
is that going to be the game?
Ujjwal Vinakota strokes it on the leg side. That's it. St. Louis Americans make small order of this chase. They've lost 6 wickets, but chase this down in the 15th over. A brilliant run chase to support a professional first inning bowling display where they had the Tigers all around in their grasp. A disappointing end to Chicago Tigers game today, where they started off very impressively, but ultimately St. Louis Americans take the run chase and make short order of it. We are going to see you in a couple of minutes with the presentation party. Yeah, I know.
The game. First ball to be bowled.
Oh, that's been beautifully struck on the offside. Norman Anwar picks up from where he left.
Beautifully. And that's
Pulls it. It's up in the air. He's going to be
He could be
taken.
in trouble here. He could be in trouble. He is. What a disappointment.
This target. There you go. He plays it away on the offside. That's what I'm talking about, Peter.
St. Louis Americans.
Oh, the shot! That has gone
huge.
120 meters away to the mid-wicket boundary. Beautiful hit down the ground. That's going to the boundary. That'll be a 4. So biryani being passed by us. Again, it's a short delivery. Hooks it away. That's going down to the boundary. That's again wonderfully struck. And Moez runs into bowl to Zaid Zakil down the wicket. Again, out outside it's tricky, but that's his 5th boundary there.
Boundary for a while. There it is. That's exactly what I was talking about. And the wicket is done. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
A disappointing end to Zaid Zakil's innings. You can just feel the lull in the ground here. That's in the air. He's going to be taken. Again, an unnecessary shot from Nisarul Haq. Deep Chand strikes there. How about that for diversity and inclusion? As you see him on the offside. Oh, unfortunately, it's taken a beautiful stroke, but goes right down the neck of the Chicago Tigers bowling lineup. Oh, goes down the ground. Beautiful shot there. Munir Kakar. Oh, runs it down to 3rd man. That's racing away. It'll be the 2nd boundary, consecutive boundary in this over. He strikes it down the ground. Beautiful shot. A short arm jab down the ground. That's up in the air. It's a mighty hit over mid-wicket. A beautiful shot. Beautifully. To 31 again, and plays a beautiful shot. All of the embarrassment of the last. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very professional performance by the St. Louis Americans, who have just beaten the Chicago Tigers by 4 wickets, wrapping up the chase of 100. Because we're reverse it. This is what he was trying. 1 run. This is for the commentators, where we were making fun of him. The 20 next ball. He's going for it. Man of the hour. There's another one again. Oh, this time.
Oh, he's been given.
He would like to express cultural diversity, and he's going to answer in his local language, and we're going to translate it to
be the game?
Ujjwal Vinakota strokes it on the leg side. That's it. St. Louis Americans make. When you were batting, what was going through your mind when you lost all those wickets, और आपको आना पड़ा और stabilize करना पड़ा chase को?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। सबसे पहले तो अपनी टीम को कांग्रेस कहता हूँ कि हम लोगों ने वो मैच जीत लिया, और हम जो हमारे साथ जो यंग खेल रहे हैं उसको भी चांस देना पड़ेगा। हम लोग तो सीनियर प्रेशर हैंडल कर सकते हैं। मैंने कोच भी ये डिस्कस करा था, अगर 1 ओवर में 15 भी रह गया, 20 भी रह गया, आप चेस कर सकते हो। थोड़ा टाइम लेना, क्योंकि हम लोग अपने एक्सपीरियंस के साथ खेलते हैं कि मैच को थोड़ा ऊपर लेके जाए, फिर इजी चेस होता है। 5 ओवर में 100 रन चेस नहीं होता है। हम लोगों ने टारगेट था 13, 14, 12 ओवर में।
Wonderful words from Munir Kakar. He just mentioned that they had a set plan in mind. They wanted to give opportunities to the youngsters. They knew that even if the target was 15 per over, they have big hitters lined up so they could chase it, and he backed his instincts and his skills to chase the.
Yeah, great effort all round 3 catches, a run out, 47 runs. What are the positives that you can take away from this game, both for yourself and for your team?
आज हाँ अभी बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस था और इस मैच से आगे टूर्नामेंट के लिए नेक्स्ट मैच के लिए क्या लेके जा सकते हैं आप और क्या आपसे
सबसे पहले तो हम लोग यही प्लान कर रहे हैं कि प्लेऑफ्स के लिए क्वालिफाई हो जाए। कल हमारा मैच बाकी है कि हम लोग सिर्फ सिंपल गेम खेलते हैं क्योंकि हमारा जो है बॉल से मैच है, कोई नाम से मैच नहीं। हम सिर्फ बॉल को देख रहे हैं, जो एफर्ट कर रहे हैं वो ग्राउंड में करेंगे क्योंकि 1-2 घंटे ग्राउंड में गुजारना पड़ेगा, उसमें आपने जान भी लगाना है। जब आपका फिटनेस लेवल हाई होता है फिर इस तरह T20 या T10 या जो भी क्रिकेट है वो ईजी हो जाएगा। फिटनेस इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग ऑफ क्रिकेट।
Again, wonderful words. He says that the physical component or the mental component of the game is so important. He says we come here, spend 2 hours in the field, need to give 100% of ourselves. So he wants to take the momentum forward from this game into the next one as well.
One final question for you. I know it's hot and you need to get out of the sun for a little bit, but that reverse hit of yours looks good. You hit yourself on the foot. We were worried about you for a moment, and then you came back and you hit it again for 4. Have you been working on some of those different kinds of shots?
So आप बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग शॉट्स खेले, उसमें से एक जो मारे बैट से आपके पैर पे मारे और बॉल को मिस कर दिया और आप गिर गए। उसके बाद नेक्स्ट बॉल फिर से वही शॉट और इस बार बाउंड्री पे मारे। क्या चल रहा था आपके दिमाग में?
जो फायर कर रहा था, दोनों फील्डर अंदर है, अगर टॉप एज भी लगेगा चौका और चक्का भी आ सकता है रिवर्स स्वीप पे। वो जो हम खेल रहे थे रिवर्स स्वीप वो बहुत अप स्टंप पे गया, ब्लॉकर हुआ मुझे, तो इस वजह से हम रिवर्स स्वीप ट्राई कर रहे थे। इस पे मिड विकेट या मिड ऑन या मिड ऑफ ये नहीं लग रहा है अप स्टंप से, तो हमें ये ट्राई चाहिए कि सिंगल करें या फील्डर से ऊपर खेले तो चौका आएगा, मैच और इजी होगा।
He says that even though it looked a little ungainly, there was a strategy and a plan behind it. He saw that the field was open and the bowler was bowling in that zone, and that's his favorite shot. So he backed himself and pulled it off. Last question. आप हैं अफगानिस्तान कांदाहार से और आपने सबको बहुत प्राउड करवा दिया, तो आप क्या बोलना चाहते हैं आपके फैमिली को और फ्रेंड्स को जो देख रहे हैं ऑनलाइन?
शुक्र अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, मैं जिधर भी जा रहा हूँ एनी कंट्री वहाँ पे अच्छे एफर्ट कर रहा हूँ, अपना 100% दे रहा हूँ और अल्लाह के काम है, किस्मत के काम है। सब ये फ्रेंड्स फैमिली और दोस्तों की दुआएं बस यहाँ तक पहुँच गए। इंशाल्लाह वो दुआ में याद रखेंगे, हमारा काम है मेहनत, वो दुआ में रखेंगे तो और ऊपर जाएंगे।
What heartwarming words. The question was, what do you want to communicate back to friends and family who are watching from Afghanistan? He says that it's been all the love and the support that they have showered on him, that he is getting to perform here and make everybody proud. Again, Munir Kakar, we are so proud of you for representing St. Louis Americans. You're the man of the match today. Congratulations and go rest.
Congratulations, great game.
And here we are to close out the innings. Peter Dry and myself, Anup Mohan, saying thank you for joining us. Tomorrow there's another exciting game, the last league game for St. Louis Americans, and it's going to be a mighty contest between Chicago Kingsmen versus St. Louis Americans. What's your call?
I think building on the momentum that they've got today, the St. Louis Americans, I think the home team will bring a lot of confidence to the game. It is going to be a different test for them, but let's hope that they can dig deep and come away with 2 wins, or 3 wins in fact, this weekend.
Again, thank you very much for all the viewers for tuning in. It's been a great performance, wonderful day. Join us tomorrow for the last game, the league stage. Thank you very much.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.